They got a pretty talented football team, skills-wise, Madison.
Live from Haas Memphis Stadium on the West Bank, it is Crescent City Sports Prep Football Week 1 of the 2019 season, and we have a good one on this first Friday night of the year as the John Ehret Patriots play host to the Cubs from University Lab. Hi again, everybody. Lenny Van Gilder, along with the coach, Wade Kaiser, the Merritts, Chip and Matt, bringing you all of the pictures this evening. We are glad you can join us for what should be a good one between two historically really good programs, Wade, but these are two teams that made deep runs a year ago. Ehret to the 5A semifinals, U-High a second straight Division II title, but they have lost a lot off of those teams.
Lost a lot. They've got to get a lot of questions answered and fast. You know, you have one scrimmage, you got one jamboree, and then you're right into it. So, you know, what's going through the minds of these coaches here tonight? The biggest thing is they've got to get some questions answered, you know, scheme-wise. You know, is what they did in the offseason and they've implemented, is it going to work? You know, are some of the young kids that they're playing in certain positions, are they going to be able to rise up and handle the pressure under the lights? So, you know, big opening night for two teams, as you said, historically tough, fixing to fill a lot of positions.
Yeah, and now you mentioned a lot of guys gone, but there are a couple of significant guys back. You see the captains meeting at the center of the field, and the two guys that tower over the other 5 captains out there, number 48 in blue is John Ehret's Patrick Jenkins. Number 78 in white is Jaqueline Roy of U-High. they're on other sides of the ball or other benches tonight. They'll never be on the field at the same time. They both play on defense. Next year they'll be teammates, though. They're both commitments to Coach Ed Ogeron and the LSU Tigers. So we're going to really see some talent to watch on both of these defensive lines tonight.
Right. Yeah, those two guys can play. A lot of talent, you know. LSU picked up 2 great commitments out of those 2 guys. You know, they're both blue chips from their respective cities, and they're high on all recruiting lists and 5-star lists and star lists all around the country.
Roy is the #1 recruit in the state of Louisiana.
Right.
Jenkins is number 12 if you go by the 24/7 composite list. And you know, talking to Marcus Scott, the John Ehret coach, before the game,
please rise for the playing of the national
Jenkins'
anthem
stock really rose in the spring in
John
camps.
Ehret Band.
We're going to pause as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem by the John Ehret High School Marching Band. Clear night for football here on the West Bank. Warm again, as it has been extraordinarily warm. Record highs again in the New Orleans area today. One of the things that we saw last night, Wade, and on opening night of the season, we had, of course, Warren Easton De La Salle on CrescentCitySports.com and Cox Sports Television, and cramping was a big issue just because of the heat, and I'm sure that is something that if either of these head coaches got a chance to see that last night, if they weren't already emphasizing the hydration leading into the game, they were doing it this morning.
Well, if they did it this morning, they're too late. Right? It's something that should have been started all summer. Eric Held was on our halftime last night from the LHSCA, and he was talking about 48 hours, and I agree with Eric 100%, but that's something that coaches talk about all summer long, about how to properly not just hydrate, but also the nutrition factor that goes along with not dehydrating.
91 degrees here in New Orleans as we hit 7 o'clock. And it's talking about 98 tomorrow. It's been a warm one here. Underway here as Augie Olmstead kicks it off, and we'll take the Ehret return man. That was Brandon James back into the end zone for an automatic touchback, and so the Patriots will begin at the 20-yard line. Well, we'll get our first look at Theodore Callaway, the senior, operating this offense. Now, one difference, we mentioned not a lot of experience. We talked about the 2 big guys returning up front, but Ehret does have a 1,200-yard rusher returning in Damon Leonard, the senior, who was nicked up a little bit at the end of last year, but he's a guy who can carry an offense without question, and I have to believe, is going to be counted on quite a bit as this Ehret offense with a lot of new players out there starts to feel their way into it.
Well, he's going to be counted on, but they're going to have to bring along a very young offensive line, Lenny. That's one of the things that Coach Marcus Scott was talking to us about, so it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to handle this huge defensive front from University.
That's a direct snap on first down and getting out to the edge. is Brandon James, who we will see.
Brandon
He's an
James
athlete,
carries
so
around the
he's
left
going to
side.
play a little bit of everywhere. You saw him back on the
Josh
kick
Slaughter
just now, and
forces
he's
him out of
actually
bounds.
getting the start at quarterback. And James
A gain of 6.
gets
2nd down and 4.
6 on first down to the 26, so it'll be 2nd down and 4 from the 26, and that's how this one gets underway.
They're going to use James as a guy that can get out on the edge. His fast feet, his open field speed. So they're going to try to challenge right off the bat a huge defensive front from University High to see if they can outrun them onto the edge.
1 back, 3 wides, and 1 tight end for the Patriots. This will again be James off the right side, and that's well defended that time. Brock Slayton, the junior, coming up from his strong safety position to make the stop. Loss of 2.
Brock Slayton is that outside linebacker, strong safety, however you want to call him in your defensive terminology. He comes up and sets the edge real nice. They don't get the kick-out block on him. So what does he do is he forces everything right back inside to the incoming linebackers and defensive line. Great job by Slayton right there setting the edge.
Right, Andy Martin, who's the new head coach here at U-High, of course, their previous head coach Chad Mahaffey heading down the road to Walker, where he's the head coach there now. Martin was the defensive coordinator previously, and obviously some strong defenses that these guys had. So it's 3rd and 6, first conversion opportunity for the Patriots, and once again, it's just a quarterback run with the direct snap going to James, and he's going to come up short of the first down by about 3 yards.
Comes up just a little shy right there. And it looks like Ehret's going to bring on their punt team. I don't know if you saw right there, Lenny, that time. University High is opening up in a 3-deep secondary. They ran cross motion. John Ehret did across the offensive formation. They ran an invert where the safety from the middle of the field came down into the box. Nobody left and went back to the middle of the field. So let's look for that later next time John Ehret has the football to see if they will attack the center of the field with cross motion.
Oh, and flags are down, and it looked like the edge rusher for U-High jumped early. That was number 8, Josh Slaughter, off the edge, and that's
offside.
Remember, in high school football, unlike college or the NFL, as soon as you cross the line, it's a dead ball, it's a 5-yard penalty, and that's big because that means it's a first down for John Ehret.
Well, that's one of those first week mistakes that I'm sure the coaches from U-High will be getting on that young man on the boundary and making sure he understands what was the result of him not being able to hold his water on a punt snap on 4th down. You just work hard to get off the field 3 and off, and now you give him another set of downs.
So a fresh set of downs from the Patriots. 1st and 10 now at the 32-yard line. And again, it is James operating at quarterback. Here comes the man in motion. They'll fake it that way. James will keep it, and it's well defended by the Cubs. Cullen Klebert, one of the linebackers for U-High, brings him down. Loss of maybe a foot or 2. It'll officially be 2nd and 10.
That looked like a pull all the way. There was no read in that particular sweep read right there. James just pulled the ball and took off because had he read it properly, he would have given the ball on the sweep.
And we haven't seen Leonard get a touch yet. We mentioned he's a 1,200-yard rusher, 13 touchdowns a year ago. So second, called a long 10. Ball officially at the 32-yard line. Opening series of this game, no score. And a flag, and that's going to be a delay of game. And Wade, one of the rules changes this year is the play clock, where now the high school rules are similar to what you're seeing college and pro, is that it's a 40-second clock as soon as the previous play ends.
Right, as soon as they set the ball, the officials are going to start the 40-second clock. No longer is it a 25-second clock. The only time it would go to 25 seconds is like right there, an administrative maneuver where they applied a penalty, set the ball, and now the 25-second clock will take off. So that's the new federation rule this year on the clock.
2nd down and 15, and once again, it's a keeper. James breaks a tackle, keeps going. He just rolled over a defender and never hit the ground and got it out near midfield.
Brandon James.
That's why he's got the word athlete next to his name, Lenny. Great job right there. Again, really the outside speed here. You can see James fakes the ball and then takes the lead block right there off the outside edge. runs over somebody right there and continues going. I didn't get the number of the man he ran over, but he ducked his shoulder and continued to run right there with the missed tackle. Looks like somebody is down.
We talked about the cramps, and it's
There's an
that's
official
number
timeout on
1,
the field.
Timothy Greer, one of the
For
Patriot
injury.
wide receivers, and you hope that's just a cramp back at the 35-yard line, as they will address that situation. Gives us a chance to remind you that Crescent City Sports Prep Football is brought to you by Lamarck Ford in Kenner, with a 30,000 square foot collision center using state-of-the-art technology to repair all makes and models, and one of the first in the area to work on aluminum body vehicles. Come see our Lamarkable deals and service. Stop by or go to lamarck.com. And our thanks to Ronnie Lamarck for his support of high school sports here on Crescent City Sports and everything else that we do. That is a great new facility. The big store in Kenner has gotten even bigger. It has turned into a big complex now in Kenner. A big campus, if you will.
Greer.
So Greer walking off on his own. Certainly a good sign. Hopefully we will see him back sooner rather than later. A little bit of gimp in his step. They'll work on him over on the near side bench. So we'll resume with the Patriots playing 1st and 10. Ball just shy of midfield at their own 49-yard line. Pretty much the same formation we've seen throughout here, with one back as a sidecar, kind of an H-back, and then 3 wide receivers. This time they give it away on the jet sweep, and open field and room to run 30. 25, breaks a tackle, 20, brought down 15, he lost the ball, and U-High picks it up. That was Jerron Glenn on the run, and it was Andre Van Merenboer who picked up the ball and recovered it at the 18-yard line. So a big play on both ends. John Ehret with a big run, but then the fumble at the end of the play, and the Cubs capitalize, and they have the football at the 18-yard line.
You saw Jerron Glenn right there on the speed sweep, pick his way through a body of white jerseys, but he doesn't protect the ball when he gets down to his own University 20-yard line, and he gets stripped for a big turnover, and that is a big turn of events for University High.
18-yard line.
So officially a gain of 33 on the play. But that F in my scorebook here at the end of it is big, the fumble and then the recovery. And flags before this first play can get started. It's going to be a false start, and U-High is going to have to play from behind the chains. The Cubs with Tanner Lawson, the senior, at quarterback, replacing the longtime starter John Gordon McKernan there at quarterback. U-High has only 3 starters returning from a year ago.
They've had
Roy on defense, and then their 2 starting offensive guards, Solomon Miles and Rashad Green, are back from a year ago. Everyone else is new.
They've had to revamp their whole offense.
Bobbled exchange there, but a nice recovery by Derek Graham, the sophomore running back, to turn that into a gain of 2. Or check that, a gain of 7 on the play, because the play started at the 13.
Well, he's lucky he got back a hold of that, and he just didn't
Second down and
popped
8.
right in the chest while the ball was bobbling around. Didn't look like a clean exchange between Lawson and Graham.
Yeah. This time they'll try to run the jet sweep, but flags first, and again a false start is called. So 2 quick penalties backing up U-High here. One on 1st and 10, one on 2nd and 8. They'll now play 2nd down and 13, the ball at the 15-yard line.
False
See
start
Paul
against
LaRosa,
University.
our referee this evening. He's been a little busy early on. That is our 4th flag of the night. Crew out of New Orleans.
2nd down and 13.
Those guys have to be hydrated too.
Oh,
You know,
yes,
the good news is the shade has settled in here. The lights are taking effect.
right.
But it's still warm out there. We mentioned 91 here at kickoff, and I'm sure the heat index better than that. Here's a pass to the near side. That is caught.
Well, Lenny, as you know, that
That is Chris Botcher on the catch.
right, that turf has been just sitting there baking all day with that black rubber underneath it in that heat. So I'm telling you what those players are feeling through their cleats right now. They're feeling intense heat coming up through their feet, even though the sun has slightly gone down and the temperature might be just a tad bit cooler.
3rd and 3. 3 wides and a quick pass off to this side, and it's caught. It'll be a 1st down. That is Austin Osbury, the sophomore. One thing you will spot the ball here. Let's see exactly where they put it down. It'll go with the 32-yard line. It's a gain of 7.
UI did a great job right there, Lenny, picking up the all-out blitz by the Ehret defense. They brought 6 people that time. They brought the 4 down defensive linemen plus the 2 inside linebackers. Picked up very nice in the UI protection.
There's a run up the middle that time for Graham, and he'll get 7 on first down. Nice job there by the UI offensive line getting off the ball and creating that hole for Graham, and they've got second and very managed. Second and 3 at the 39. Trying to pick up the tempo a little bit. It's Graham again. He's got the first down out near the 44-yard line.
Nice job by that UI offensive line. Like I said, pick up the blitz 2 plays ago, but they're getting a little movement in there on that John Ehret defensive front with that inside zone scheme that they've ran the past 2 downs.
So from the 44, UHI's picked up a couple of first downs here. Throw to the near side, and that is caught, and almost immediately Osbury steps out of bounds after a gain of about 3. One thing, UHI, you got to remember, UHI is a laboratory school at LSU. You're going to recognize some last names along the way with sons of former LSU players, administrators, whatever the case may be. So, for instance, that is back this way. Derek Graham on the carry will get across midfield. Let's see what the spot is. It's going to be short of the first down. They'll put it down at the 49 of John Ehret for a gain of 4.
You saw that play just a minute ago that they ran. That looks a lot like the old wing T play buck sweep, which it was. They're just running it out of gun for a nice pickup right there. You know, everything goes in cycles, Lenny.
And with that, we're going to get the hydration break, and I'm sure the guys in all blue are happy to see that. There's 5:59 left in the first quarter, and we are scoreless. You are watching Crescent City Sports Prep Football. So the team's huddling by their benches, acts like a timeout. I talked to officials last night and tonight, and the one thing to remember with this, think of this 6-minute timeout a lot like you would think of the 2-minute warning. Wherever it comes, it's going to happen. If a play's in progress, then they'll stop it at the end of the play. But you might be ready to line up and score, whatever it is, they're going to stop it. We've heard different interpretations of how the hydration rules should work.
They try. They try to put this right around the 6 minute, but they try to not slow down any type of momentum that you have offensively.
Right. It sounds like now they're just, at least here in New Orleans, they are taking it whenever it hits there. And that is caught for a first down. That is Osbury. So we're talking about the names, of course, Verge Osbury, the deputy AD at LSU. And that's, you're going to see a lot of those types of names. You've got on the UHI defensive side, Micah Davey, that is Rohan's son, the former LSU quarterback. And a couple of broken tackles right there as Derek Graham gets good yardage on first down, almost to the sticks. It'll be 2 yards short of a first down.
Brandon James and Kane Williams make the tackle.
Wow, those are a few names you threw at me that kind of bring back some memories of LSU athletics.
And there have been more over the years as well. Of course, Les Miles' son played quarterback back in there, and that is a fumble on the sack. And guess who was back there? Patrick Jenkins got in and disrupted that play. Gets credit for the sack. The fumble is recovered by the left tackle Alex Goldberg. Heads up there. It'll go with a loss of 6 on the play, and it's going to be 3rd down and 8. So first time we've had a chance to call Jenkins' name this evening, and he immediately comes in and is a disruptor.
Had a little penetration up the field, was right there, almost took the handoff.
3rd and 8. Open in the flat. Osbury's going to be short of the first down as quickly 2 Ehret defenders closed on the play. That was Travis Patterson along with Brandon James, a guy we've seen a lot of. We talked about him on offense, and he comes in there and makes a big play on defense on a third down play with a chance now perhaps to get the Patriots off the field. Oh, but there's a flag, and this is going to add on a personal foul, and now roughing the passer is going to give U-High a first down.
That hurts. They come up, make a great play defensively for the stop. Brandon James gets out of his back pedal, does a great job driving on the short hitch, makes a big hit, and then they have the roughing the passer. You'll see it right here on our replay in a second.
But now it looks like we've got a bench warning, a sideline warning. Flag was dropped, but it won't be. It's just a warning, will not be a penalty. So this is already the 12th play of the drive, Wade, that started back at the 18-yard line. This is an impressive opening march for U-High.
Had a few penalties in this, as well as a few balls put on the ground and recovered.
And still churning and getting out near the 20-yard line is Derek Graham, who's it's either been Graham or Osbury's name that we've called just about every play of this drive. Gain of 5 down to the check. They'll make it 4 to the 21, it looks like. Yeah, they'll back it up to the 21, second down and 6.
U-High going with that tempo. You've got a lot of guys in blue jerseys kind of standing around, not getting down in stances.
Down the seam, tried to split the defenders and incomplete. That was Osbury in the slot there, just looking to go down the seam. Everything we've seen him catch is pretty much in the flat.
Well, they moved him into the inside slot that particular time. They were moving the ball around. They'll have him out on the edge as the number 1 receiver. They're moving him inside to the slot number 2 receiver. They're trying to create different types of matchups against John Ehret's man coverage. But if you notice the guys in blue, Lenny, a lot of them are standing around with their hands on their thighs. That's a sign of you're sucking a few airs right there.
This is the first drive. So
right. They're kind of sucking eggs a little bit.
Watching U-High's kicker warm up. Start thinking about that. There comes a blitz up the middle. And great pressure that time by Savion Williams, the senior linebacker, as they tried to again go down the seam for Osbury. Incomplete. There was Osbury had room to run there. If he's got time to step in and throw that ball, it could have very well been a touchdown. So it's 4th down again here.
Well, they had Osbury open down the middle seam. If he would have had time to stand in there, a little bit more arm strength would have gotten in the end zone with that. They brought the blitz with the man coverage, just couldn't get the ball there.
4th and 6 going for it. The left-hander throws. It's batted up in the air. It caught a terrific play by Osbury off the deflection by the Ehret defender. Great concentration, and he gets it down on the 2-yard line.
Great concentration right there. You'll see on our replay.
Jones with the deflection of the pass.
You'll see Andrew Jones is going to give a nice tip on the ball right here. And then there you go. Boom. Great concentration.
And they'll go quickly again, and that is Graham, but he'll be stopped short of the end zone.
Great concentration by the U-High receiver, seeing the ball pop up here on the old tip drill, making sure that he keeps his eyes on the ball, and he sets up the ball inside the 5-yard line with a great opportunity for the U-High offense.
17th play of this opening drive. What a march by the Cubs. Down at the 1, now they just need to finish it off, get those final 3 feet. They'll spread things out here with 3 wides. Give it away, and nice penetration in the backfield, and they've got Graham stopped behind the line of scrimmage, and now it's 3rd down and goal.
They're going to have to think about getting outside on this. I don't know right now if they can knock the stiffened up defensive line of Ehret off the ball. They got a lot of penetration right there that time, and Graham was stuffed in the backfield right after he had the handoff.
Big Rashad Harris, 45, was one of the guys in there on the stop. 3rd and goal. Motion man will take the jet sweep and walk into the end zone for a touchdown. That is Kylan Ross, the junior wide receiver, on a 3-yard touchdown run. First time we've called his name tonight.
Great job on the edge, blocking the force and the kick out. Just as I thought, they were going to have to go outside. They do it with the jet sweep. And they get him outside, around the edge, and Kylan Ross walks right into the end zone for the first score of the night.
18 plays, 82 yards. It took 5 minutes and 42 seconds off the clock. 48 seconds, I'm sorry, off the clock.
little swing and gate here, Lenny.
Make you defend
Right.
everything. Make sure you
Right.
got the numbers there. Of course, something we've seen John Curtis do a lot of over the years, some other schools in the area.
They're not covering the number 1 receiver down here. Did you see that? They did not cover Austin Osbury.
Yeah.
There we go, Verge.
There you go. Kick on the way, but we had whistles before that kick could get in motion.
The kick is good. There's a flag on the play.
And you got to help me on that signal, Wade.
Illegal participation. That's
Perhaps.
what
I don't know
think
if
it is.
somebody had equipment or did they line up with 12?
It could be illegal participation because they didn't have their mouthpiece in. It could be an equipment issue. I saw 11 on the field. I didn't see 12.
The infraction is against University.
I'm guessing mouthpiece.
Yeah. So they'll try it again, this time from 25, and the kick is good. And with 2:20 left in the first quarter, your score, University 7 and John Ehret nothing.
I tell you what, you've seen a lot of football along the way.
You know, over the years. I mean, you talk about opening drives of the season. That is an impressive a march as you will see at any level, high school, college, pro, you name it. That is ideal. You just, matriculate the ball down the field there. 18 plays, 82 yards to get that opening touchdown.
18-play drive is phenomenal, with some penalties on flags on the ground, with a couple of possible turnovers that you recover.
Right.
It's not a turnover until you lose it, but they recover their own fumble.
They converted 4 times on third down, including the touchdown, and once on fourth down.
Right. So sitting over here on the bench looking down at the John Ehret defense right now, they need little oxygen masks. I mean, they're sucking that air real hard. It's tough on a hot night like what it was. And if you notice, U-High the whole time during the 18-play drive was all up-tempo, real fast up-tempo.
And they changed it a little bit. I mean, they would slow it down some. It was controlled. Like one of the, they managed to kind of step on the gas a little bit at times when they felt like they could use it, especially on the play right after the fourth down conversion. They went quickly again.
All these spread offenses today have these tempos. So if they're in race car, they have a certain set of plays that they just flash in from the boundary, which is going to speed things up. If they're going to slow it down and not be in race car, then they're going to have another set of plays that are going to go with that set of tempo.
Room up the middle, but it quickly closes, and that is brought out to about the 26-yard line.
Return.
That's the first time we've called Devon Leonard's name tonight with the ball in his hands.
1st and 10, Patriots.
Leonard on the return gets it out to about the 26-yard line, and that's where the Patriots will begin here.
Let's see if the Patriots still stay with their game plan we saw in the first series where they were attacking the flank of the U-High defense, trying to get their speed out on the quarter, trying to run away from those big guys that they have lining up inside their defensive front.
And after we saw all Brandon James at quarterback in the first series, now we're going to see Theodore Callaway, the more traditional quarterback, the senior, behind center. Gives it away on first down, and he will give it away to Devon Leonard. And that is a gain of about 4.
Ehret looks up right there in their spread 3-by-1 formation. They look up and see 5 people in the box. That dictates run any day of the week from an offensive coordinator, so I'm sure that's what they signaled in once they got the numbers count from the box down to the field.
It's like 6 in the box here as they'll man up with a single high safety, and trying to run the quarterback draw that time is Callaway, and the middle closed up in a hurry.
Well, it's going to close up in the middle because of Nick Williams and Kylan Ross, 2 big-time defensive tackles in there. We've already talked about Roy, but they just took and ragdolled those 2 young guards from John Ehret to be able to stuff down that quarterback draw. No place to go for Theodore Callaway.
Loss of 3. It's going to be 3rd and 9. Williams just a sophomore.
He's a big boy.
You see Roy lined up to the bottom of the defensive line there, going against the left tackle. They run at that way with the jet sweep, get it in the hands of the quarterback on the first series, Brandon James, the athlete, lining up at wide receiver that time, and James came up 2 yards short of the first down.
Colin Kleebert had a great shot at him in the backfield from his linebacking position. He scrapes off of their right edge, ends up in the backfield, and completely whiffs on Brandon James on the jet sweep right there.
So it's 4th and 2, ball at the 34. Ehret sends its punt team on. Remember this situation earlier. U-High jumped off sides and gave them a free set of downs. You have to believe that
there was some
Slaughter's going to be very slow off that edge right now. Not let that happen again, and I believe Marcus Scott had a little personnel issue there and called timeout before he got a delay of game penalty with 46.4 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Gives us a chance to remind you the Crescent City Sports Prep Football is brought to you by Gibbs Construction, a leader in the construction industry in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast for more than 35 years, transforming dreams, visions, and plans into reality. Gibbs Construction. Our thanks to Larry Gibbs for his support of what we do at Crescent City Sports. And a tip of the cap to Larry Gibbs. He bought into Little League Baseball from the get-go here and has been the president of East Bank Little League since it launched. And congratulations to those young men and women for the season they had. Of course, a lot of attention given to the baseball team winning the Little League World Series, but the softball team finishing second in the nation. They got to the semifinals a year ago, so that program in a short period of time has really done some great things. 4th and 2, it's a punt, and we'll head towards the far side and roll dead past the 40. The about 4 Patriots surround it and let it roll inside. They're right at the 35-yard line. It'll go officially as a 31-yard punt for Edwin Wilkins. And that's where U-High will take over now with 33.4 seconds.
At the 35-yard line of the Cubs, where they have the ball 1st and 10.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see again what's going to be the tempo U-High is going to come out to use on this series.
And what kind of adjustments, perhaps,
John Ehret
did the Patriots make on defense here? Because, again, they did a pretty decent job on 1st and 2nd downs. It's those money downs where you've got a chance to get off the field. You got to get a stop. Trying to throw the slant on 1st down just out of the reach of Kylan Ross, whose name we called on the touchdown a moment ago, and Raymond Mosby, the junior, was defending.
Well, the first adjustment I see right off the top of the bat is they're playing a too-high secondary. So they've taken a guy out of the front, and they're going to play too high in the secondary. 2 safeties, which is going to eliminate a guy down front, so that spells run for your offense.
Give it away on the jet sweep. They try again that time with Ross, and he will get maybe a yard, and it's going to be 3rd down. So I think I'll mark it back at the 35, so no gain. 3rd down and 10.
Jemai Stewart does a great job for John Ehret. Lenny, right there that time is the corner coming up, and he sets the edge real nice on that sweep. They couldn't block him. He rips through, forces the sweep back inside for a very fast defense to run over there and put that to sleep.
And U-High will let the clock run out. That will end the first quarter of play. Both teams had some early opportunities. Ehret fumbled in the red zone. U-High drove it 82 yards on their first possession to get on the board. So 12 minutes in the books here at Hoss Memphis. Your score, U-High 7, John Ehret nothing. Back after this, you are watching high school football from Crescent City Sports. second quarter getting underway here. U-High will play a 3rd and 10 from its 35-yard line as we begin the second quarter. Really good on 3rd down, and that pass is thrown incomplete. Well defended out there by Edwin Wilkins, and a late flag comes in.
Holy cow. The only thing is we can't see up here is where was his hand? Was it on his back early or
it came in from
not?
Behind, and it's going to be defensive pass interference.
Right. I'm thinking Kane Williams, had his hand on his back a little early, and that's the reason why, after a little prodding from the sideline of U-High, they're going to throw the flag over there. Let's see if you can see it right there. Really can't see the hand. You can see the nice defensive play. The view of the line judge over there would have been the guy to see it, and I'm telling you, those folks on the sideline are going to bark real fast if they think it's an interference call.
All right, so from the 50, quarterback's going to keep it for the first time, and Lawson will get it into John Ehret territory at the 47-yard line. A gain of 3, and it will be 2nd down and 7 from the 47. Crescent City Sports Prep Football presented by Yale College Inn and Rocket Bowl. Rocket Bowl now with 2 locations on South Carrollton Avenue in New Orleans and Jefferson Street in downtown Lafayette. See a full schedule of entertainment at rocket.com. Hey, so Rocket Bowl in New Orleans weekly. Greater quarterback club luncheon each Tuesday at noon. Give it away on 2nd and 7 on a huge hole, getting to the outside. That is Graham down the sidelines, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Or did he step out? Let's see. Nope, touchdown.
Graham shows great speed bursting down the sideline. Lenny, the whole thing opens up. Ehret sells out again on a run blitz. They bring both linebackers on the A-gaps. You'll see them come here, and there they go right there. And look, there's nobody coming inside out. The corner is set over there, and what does he do? He just bounces around it, and he goes down the boundary with great speed. Great speed by the sophomore, Derek Graham. He's a nice-looking running back. He carries the ball high and tight. He's got nice size.
Well, that was a little bit different than the first drive. 4 plays, 65 yards, took a minute 26 after 18 plays and 82 yards on the opening drive.
You know, everybody that watches the game always hears about blitzes.
Bad snap, and Olmstead will have to fall on it to make sure nothing else can happen right there, but it's a 13-0 game.
Going back and finishing what I was going to say there, everybody thinks about blitzes. Oh, they got to blitz. They got to put pressure on. They've got to send linebackers. Well, just remember this. When you start sending second-level people, it is putting pressure on third-level people. Because if it pops, those guys are all ran off in coverage or possibly getting blocked like they were right there, and something big is going to happen. It's either boom or bust a lot of times with the blitz. It's a little food for thought for all football fans out there that love to see blitzes and things of that nature.
Yep, you certainly, if it was that good, you'd do it every snap, right?
Right. It just puts so much pressure on other parts of your defense if things do not go properly the way you want them to happen. And right there, they sell out inside, and they get the blocks on the edge, and
Brandon James and
Graham breaks it right down the sideline with great speed.
Graham, just a sophomore, showing us a lot here tonight. You don't get much chance to be on the field when you got Mike Hollins there, as he's been the last couple of years, the University of Virginia signee.
Well, I'll tell you what, this guy's a good-looking running back. He's going to have a great future at U-High.
Kick on the way. This time they'll squib it down to about the 13-yard line, and that is James getting a hole in the middle and trying to get outside. Could go. Midfield. 40. Got to make a man miss. 30. But they forced it back inside, and there were white jerseys to help out and bring down James at the 26-yard line.
That was Josh Slaughter, the backside safety, who comes over and slows it down and makes a great play on Brandon James right there. You can see number 8 right there. Slow him down, make him change direction so everybody else can get over there and make the tackle. Great job by the backside safety, but what a great burst of speed by Brandon James to find that crease and almost take that thing back for Ehret.
Maybe that's the momentum boost that Ehret needed. It's been a tough go here in the first quarter. They got some things going offensively on the first drive, but then that fumble in the red zone, and it's really been all U-High ever since then. Now let's see if the Patriots can capitalize right here with good field position at the 28-yard line of the Cubs. Flags before this one can get started. It's a false start against John Ehret, and Marcus Scott's team's going to have to play from behind the sticks.
UI's already made an adjustment defensively, Lenny. They've gotten into a 3-man front, playing 5 in the box with 2 high in the safeties. Trying to do something against that outside speed, so they're setting their perimeter a little bit wider. John Ehret comes out in the first quarter and attacks them on the perimeter, so what does U-High do? They adjust, they get into their 3-man front.
This is now Tremont Harris in the backfield alongside the quarterback Callaway, who will keep it, gets out to the edge, and gets just about all of that penalty yardage back. They will spot it, yes, at the 28-yard line, I believe, so it's going to be a gain of 5, second down and 10.
By Chance Bertrand. A gain of 5.
If you're a team like Ehret, though, and you see high school teams like this, not where the passing game is not a big part of what it is that you're going to do, you can't let yourself get too far behind.
Well, no.
That's what makes this drive critical.
And you run out of time. That's the bottom line.
They fake the pass that time and actually give it away to Harris up the gut. He'll get about 4, and it's going to be 3rd and 6.
You know, that's the great thing about high school football is you're dealing
Harris
with a shorter game,
carries the ball,
and you're dealing with the guys that walk onto your campus, right? So you're making your schemes and your philosophies fit what you have walking in the door. It's not like you can spend 3 years recruiting a kid to fit into your philosophy, or you can go out and draft what you want to fit in your philosophy. That's the fun part of the high school game.
Quick slant on 3rd and 6. That is caught. And it's going to be just short of the first down, though. That was
pass is complete to
Harris. That was Harris. Lined up in the slot that time, made the catch, and it's going to be just short. 4th and 1 at the 19, and this is certainly 4-down territory, even without 1 yard to go.
U-High's bringing the house. Got everybody lined up. Their man coverage down here on both number 1 receivers and number 2 receivers. Do they take a shot downfield right here? Throw it up?
They got the blitz, and they've got the quarterback wrapped up, and all he could do is try to throw it, and it is incomplete. And that was Walton Roberts on the pressure that time from his defensive end spot. And
U-High takes over on down.
I don't know if they were trying to take that shot with a little quick fade or what, but he took the ball and started sprinting out to his right, and all of a sudden he gets wrapped up right there by a U-High defender and brought down and just throws the ball away. Would have loved to see him just run some sort of fade route and see if they could throw the ball up to beat that press man coverage that they had down on their 1s and their 2 receivers.
So U-High takes over at its 19-yard line. 9:29 to play here in the first half. Cubs have scored each of the first 2 times they've touched the football. Little swing pass on 1st down, and well defended that time by the Patriots as Graham is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. A host of blue jerseys back there. It'll go as a loss of 4 on the play. And
Andrew Jones out there to defend that screen. Great job coming from his linebacker position to get over there and to make a great play.
A loss of 4, 2nd down and 14.
Puts U-High behind the sticks for one of the few times tonight since
those early penalties.
The first drive.
The first series of the game, they picked up a couple of early penalties, overcame that, but they've pretty much stayed with positive yardage. Not much room there for Graham. He spins away and somehow finds a way to get 3 yards out of that. That could have very easily been a 3-yard loss, Wade.
Well, he was met in the backfield by a host of John Ehret Patriots right there, led by number 42, Caruth Wilson, a sophomore defensive end, was back there real fast, got everything all broken up, and Graham shows his ability by spinning out of it, trying just to get back close to the line of scrimmage.
Almost back to the original line. It's going to be 3rd down and 11. The line to get is the 29-yard line.
comes a blitz.
They pick it up and throw, and it's caught. First down. Nice job of running the route that time and coming back to the ball. Trevor Evans, the junior wide receiver. They needed 11. They got 14.
Bring the blitz. Ehret goes to man. Watch Trevor Evans out there. He's going to get great separation from the receiver. He's going to come back to the ball, right downhill, back to the ball on a nice little curl route at the sticks to pick up the first down.
And on 1st and 10, it will once again be Derek Graham on the carry. He'll get a couple.
Graham carry.
I love to see receivers do things like that, do what they're taught. They work these drills. They work on getting separation. Once they have separation, they break their route off. Nice, sharp, and quick. Bump those elbows. Come back downhill to the ball. That was a great route and great throw on that first down pass.
And the one thing there is he ran the route probably 5 yards past the stick, so he had room to come back instead of coming back and being short of the first down.
You know, a lot of people don't realize that. It's called field awareness. And knowing where the sticks are, knowing where I've got to break my route off, and knowing what type of coverage he's getting, which he knew it was man, so he had to use a certain type of release in order to be able to get the separation he needed with the cornerback.
It was Graham again on a carry that time, getting 5, so it's 3rd down and 3. Graham will come off.
3rd down and 3.
He's got to be a tired guy out there.
Yeah,
right? Graham's touched the football a lot here in the first 17 minutes of this game.
I don't know any sophomore that's tired of not getting the ball. He's going to want that ball. Coach, give it to me. I'm fine. Ehret brings the house again.
And breaking a tackle, getting the first down, and then some. That is Cam Dorsey, the senior backup running back. And a nice run there. Turns that into a 14-yard gain.
Dorsey carries the ball.
Edwin Wilkins, number 9, from John Ehret, gets him in the backfield. That's coming off of the University
right edge right here. Bang! He misses the tackle right there. They sold out and then just couldn't make the tackle.
And they'll go quickly again. The quarterback keeper by Lawson will get about 6, and it's 2nd down and 4.
Lawson carries. Andrew Jones makes the tackle.
Back to the fast tempo for University High.
So 2nd and 4. Ball now at the Patriot 41-yard line. You're just tuning in. Ehret has twice gotten down inside the 20-yard line and been once on a fumble and once on a 4th down stop. They've been unable to capitalize. This is interesting. U-High calls timeout with 6:09 remaining in the quarter. They were 9 seconds away from getting I don't know where the play clock was there if it was going to run down, but they were going to get the hydration break in 9 seconds.
It was a personnel thing. I don't think he had the right people on the field for what he wanted to do right there. Now, did he call timeout without realizing where he was for the hydration break? Possibly. The 40-second clock was no issue right there. It was either personnel or he had the wrong play called for the personnel that was on the field. Been there, done that.
Yeah, and look, and you get that. That's only in play in the month of September. So it's not like something that stays in play throughout the entire season where you get used to it. You're going to use it for 4 weeks, and then when you get to week 5, it's over. And you don't get it anymore.
Right, the hydration break for sure.
And what's interesting with that, Wade, and I think it should be, instead of an automatic thing, that should be a mutual agreement. Because, look, in these parts, what if you get an 85-degree day in the first week of October, but the rules say that's it, we only do it in September? Why, player safety is important. Why not give it the choice of being mutually agreed upon?
Well,
a quick throw, and that is incomplete as Osbury could not bring it in. He was juggling and did not gain control until after he went out of bounds, and it'll be 3rd and 4.
Juggling the ball, just couldn't hold on to it. But getting back to what you were saying, in that instance, even though it's not mutually agreed upon or whatever the case may be, the white hat also kind of will let it go a little bit longer. He's going to get it in, but it's not going to be like what it is tonight right at 6 minutes. He'll manage it if it's a little bit cooler, and he'll let both guys know on the boundary.
Okay, here we go on 3rd and 4, and a nice stop off the edge that time to bring down Derek Graham short of the first down, and that was Andrew Jones, whose name we've called a lot tonight. He had 9 tackles for losses a year ago.
Andrew Jones is a nice looking out. He's cramping a little bit right there, but he steps right into the hole and makes a huge play. Ankle tackle right there. You can see he's kind of favoring his right leg.
So we hit the hydration break at 5:57. It'll be 4th and 2, a big play. So it's like a free timeout for these teams on a very big play in this football game. 4th and 2 with the ball at the John Ehret 41-yard line. Gives us a chance to remind you that Crescent City Sports Prep Football presented by Ye Olde College Inn and Rockin' Bowl. College Inn, a true New Orleans farm-to-table restaurant, open Tuesday through Saturday for dinner, and the home of the New Orleans Prep Sports Hall of Fame and Wade's favorite hamburger steak in New Orleans.
Boy, do they have a hamburger steak.
Thanks to John Blanchard for his support of high school sports here on CrescentCitySports.com. By the way, I want to remind you, you haven't done it yet tonight, Crescent City Sports All-State Sugar Bowl scoreboard with up-to-the-minute scores all throughout the night from all throughout the state. So many games going on throughout Louisiana this evening. Things got started last night, handful of games last night. We brought you Warren Easton, De La Salle. Great comeback win for Easton, 36-28. What a terrific game here on the West Bank. John Curtis, Edna Carr, 42-39.
Tell you what, in the city you couldn't go wrong last night. Some great football. What a great start to week 1 for the prep football season.
So I said 4th and 2, corrected. 4th and 4, the ball at the 41-yard line. 2 in the backfield. They'll fake it, throw over the middle, incomplete. And the Patriots get off the field defensively for the first time tonight, Wade. That's got to be a big lift. And once again, Andrew Jones, the disruptor.
Andrew Jones blitzes again. Ehret sells out, brings the heat. You'll see it right here on the replay off of the little power pass. And whack, Andrew Jones hits him right in the ribs and puts Tanner Lawson on the ground. Big hold right there for John Ehret. See if they can get something going in the last 5 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, they've got to find a way to get some points on the board here before half. Remember, Ehret took the opening kickoff, so U-High is going to get the ball to start the third quarter. You'd like to get this to a one-score game before halftime. And they will go back to the athlete at quarterback, Brandon James. He's got men on either side of him, so it looks like the old T formation almost there. Fakes it to both men. He's going to keep it off the right side. Room to run, out past midfield and close to the first down. They're going to give it to him at the 49-yard line.
Run a little cross action in the backfield, get those linebackers looking all which ways, puts them in different directions, and what does he do? He scoots off tackle to his right. You'll see it on the replay right here. Nice kick out block by the back, and he gets up inside with his speed, and he picks up a big first down for the Patriots.
Big block there by Tremont Harris, one of the two running backs. The two regular backs, Leonard and Harris, lined up along either side of James. Any one of those guys is a threat when they touch the football. It is Leonard going towards the far side. Flag is down. This is going to be a hold almost certainly against John Ehret.
It's either going to be a hold or it's going to be a chop block, a block below the waist.
Carries the ball. There's a flag.
And you got it. It's a hold.
Holding against the Patriots.
Holding out on the edge. We haven't seen this formation yet tonight from John Ehret, where they brought in both running backs into, as you say, a T backfield. What they're trying to do is get the extra blocker back there, trying to use a little misdirection.
Now, of course, in high school ball, unlike college and pro, penalties are marked from the spot of the foul. Most of them. So the holding, wherever the holding occurs, it's 10 yards from there. So now it's first down and 22 with the ball at the 39-yard line.
Right. That holding penalty you're talking about is one of those spot fouls in Federation rules, which is a killer.
I don't understand.
It's a killer.
It's one of those conversations. That
yes, we could have.
We could have it all night as we get a stoppage there, and I believe it's a timeout for John Ehret. It is, but
I'm with you. You don't know how many times I looked up and I had an offensive lineman holding 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and they're marking off another 20 yards. So it's a 20-yard, another 10 yards, but it's a 20-yard penalty.
As Ehret takes the timeout, the late Rick Gailey, we still think about him as much as he was a contributor to what it is that we did in terms of high school football coverage on this site and our previous versions of it. He was big into the rules of the game and knew the rule book backwards and forwards. And the one thing he used to always talk about with Federation rules is they're in place for the ease of enforcement.
Thank you.
And How is that based on ease of enforcement? You should enforce from the line of scrimmage instead of the spot of the foul. You know where the line of scrimmage is when the play starts. Mark off 10 yards from there.
Well, because Rick, if you remember, Rick would always say with the ease of enforcement, when the Federation put in these rules many years ago, the flag was supposed to be, if you see these guys pick the flag up and throw it to where it's supposed to be on the spot, they're going to mark the spot with the penalty flag, so now they can easily mark off the distance from the spot foul. I don't agree with it. Rick and I had numerous conversations about it. We've talked, look, I've sat on the rules committee with the Federation before for the state of Louisiana, and I've sat into those conversations with people throughout the country. It's not a popular rule.
All right, on
Spot
first
fouls.
down and 22, it is a keeper by Brandon James, and he will get about 4 to 5 of it back. Let's see where the spot is. They're going to put it down at the 44, a gain of 5.
And the last thing I'm going to say about it, Lenny, is this. You know, there's just some things that are never, ever going to change, kind of like not putting a po' boy on French bread in New Orleans. It's just not going to happen. And that spot foul is never going to change in Federation.
All right, so second down 17 coming up for John Ehret. His clock stopped after that last play went out of bounds, 5:04 remaining. This time, James is going to throw it, and it's off the fingertips of his receiver, Jerron Glenn. First time we've seen James try to throw the football, and it's 3rd and 17.
Run a little flood route from a bunch pattern or bunch package over on their left-hand side. You can see it in the replay. You're going to have a high receiver, you're going to have a flat receiver, and the flat receiver was Jerron Glenn. The ball couldn't have been placed any better. It was right in his hands. Needs to catch that. He might have gotten his shoulders upfield, and if not gotten the first down, he might have picked up a nice gain.
Now, it was 3rd and 17 at the 44. Now they've put the ball back squarely on the 43-yard line, about a half a yard back from where the previous play was. The line to get is the 39-yard line. They're going to try and get it on the ground. Not much running room, but he's trying to reverse his field, and now he's got run to run. Can he outrun the one man? No. Great tackle by Dylan Smith, the free sophomore, who was really the only man between Brandon James and the first down, because as you can see, Wade, there were blockers out there as he reversed his field.
Reverses his field right here, but nice job by the free safety. As I said, Dylan Smith, who comes from his free safety scraping position, redirects himself to the alley in the opposite direction, which is what he's supposed to do. It's called a pursuit drill, and does a nice job getting the ankle tackle. I don't know if you saw who was in the backfield that time. In that formation was the big defensive lineman, Jaquil,
or Patrick Jenkins.
I'm sorry, Patrick Jenkins.
Yeah, they said we might see him on offense some this
Right.
evening, and indeed that was the case. Fair catch is called for at about the 27-yard line. That is one of the reasons. He had been wearing a number in the 50s. They've now assigned him
48.
48, so he can line up on offense as an eligible receiver.
Right. That was my mistake on saying Jaquil Roy, but that was the big defensive lineman, as we corrected Patrick Jenkins. That's a big blocker coming at you, 6'2 and a half, 230 pounds, trying to get out there blocking on a little corner or a safety coming up and filling the alley, and all of a sudden that comes right into your face.
In fact, Jenkins is not out there on this first down play. He's catching a little bit of a break right here. Juhai takes over at the 27-yard line with 4:02 to play here and a half, and flags before this one can get going. And it's a false start.
False start against Juhai.
Looks like the right guard moved a little bit, which drew
First
John
down
Ehret
and
off sides.
15.
They're going to mark off 5, put Juhai again behind the sticks.
So from the 22, play action. The lefty fires, and that is incomplete, intended for Kylan Ross. Nice coverage there by the freshman, I believe that was, number 20, Jamari Black.
Play action bootleg.
They're saying it's King Williams.
Play action bootleg. Great fake by Tanner Lawson that time. And everybody's running a flat medium, high route on the bootleg. He decided to take the high route on the drag from the backside receiver, and the ball was just a little bit low, and also a great defensive play.
And also in on that, by the way, Kane Williams is a name we've not called tonight. More on him in a moment as we've got 2nd and 15, ball at the 22-yard line. Taking a shot down the field, and with a little air under it and nobody behind him, it was just overthrown in the direction of Josh Slaughter, and now it's 3rd down and 15. But back to talking about Kane Williams for a second, Wade. I remember when we were getting ready to do John Ehret last year against Landry Walker in the regular season, and talking to Marcus Scott about his personnel. And the only sophomore on his depth chart was Kane Williams. He said, this is one of the best sophomores I have ever coached. Now he's a junior. He's got 19 offers, including LSU, Alabama, Auburn, Florida, among others. And that was too high, also in the direction of Josh Slaughter, and it's going to be a quick 3 and out here in 4th down.
4th down.
Well, yeah, he's a great player. There is no doubt about it. And what you just saw, those past 2 plays, by the way, Lenny, were the same plays ran from the opposite sides because of the man coverage right there. Nobody's covering the back out of the backfield. Again, live and die by man coverage. We talked about it last night on our broadcast. When you bring a back out of the backfield, you better have somebody assigned to that guy like a linebacker. But yes, Kane Williams is a great player, and he's going to be one of those, again, highly, highly sought after skill guys from South Louisiana.
Yeah, the 24/7 Sports Composite has him number 5 in Louisiana in the class of 2021, and that is not a very good kick. And John Ehret is going to come away with some terrific field position. Let's see where they spotted this one going out of bounds. Haven't seen him put the ball down yet, but it is
the punt goes out of bounds
going
at
to
the
be
31-yard line.
The 31-yard line. That is a 9-yard punt.
I call that a shank. He kind of, shanked the 9-iron off to the right there.
Looks like one of mine actually there.
I was going to say it, but I'll let you say it. 3:38, 1 timeout left for Ehret. They've got to get on the board right here. So we've got to see them do something that's going to take the bull by the horns and get some points on the board before halftime.
You thought they might have one more opportunity before the half when they got it back at the 5:47 mark. Now, defense did their job, got the 3 and out. Can they take advantage of the break with the shank punt? And it is once again James at quarterback. James looking to try to do something with it, and Roy, this is the first time we've really called his name tonight, Wade, in terms of disrupting. He got up the field, and really James was looking to get it to the outside, and Roy takes up a lot of space out there. There was nowhere for him to go, and then he got a little help to finish things off.
Well, they brought an inside stunt, and they kind of slanted Roy out, and he's right there from his defensive tackle position in their 3-man front. Nobody touched him, and he's sitting right there for James to run right into. Hello, how you doing? Bang. You got to block the guy. You got to put a body on him somehow, or you got to option him. You got to read him. You got to do something. You just can't leave him untouched.
Little juggle on the snap. James is trying to get outside and ends up running right into the arms of Brock Slayton, and another loss on the play. And it's going to be 3rd down and a bunch.
Brock Slayton there, but cleaning it up also again, was Roy getting off of his block and using his great speed to get out there to help out and assist on that play. I'm really impressed with those 2 big defensive linemen from U-High. Well, I mean, Roy speaks for himself, but the other kid is pretty darn good too, Nick Williams.
Well, and this is the thing, Wade. I mean, you could see the talent that is coming through this program. We're placing all of these starters, and yet we're seeing a high level of talent out there, and I believe John Ehret's going to use their final time out of the first half just before the 40-second clock runs out with 2:06 remaining in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's called building a program, sustaining a program. You have a coaching change. You sustain the program. I'm not sure how much staff changed with it. So you're still sustaining the program. You're getting kids into school. They're coming into school there. You're sustaining the program. So it's about the program and building the program and keeping it consistently at a high level.
When we resume here, it'll be 3rd down and 22 with the ball at the U-High 43-yard line. Ehret has had opportunities, Wade, and
Yes,
just
they
have
have
not been able to take advantage of it. That first series, popped the run inside the 20, but the fumble ended that drive.
Correct.
Got another series down at the 19-yard line. Couldn't convert on fourth down to keep it going. This drive started at the 31-yard line. They've moved backwards. So they have had opportunities. Even the previous drive briefly crossed the 50 and looked like it was going somewhere, and then they got the offensive holding penalty, put them behind the chains. Taking a shot down the field on 3rd and 22. The receiver had a step. That was Kane Williams actually jumping over and playing offense in that spot. And Williams just couldn't bring it in from James. That was a little bit too far out there. He had that too much on a line. He didn't put enough air on it.
You'll see right here on the replay, he had 2 or 3 steps on the defender right there, but I think he kind of slowed down in his route. You see, right there. Ball's a little overthrown. I don't think Kane Williams was running full speed right there.
I'm not sure he would have gotten to it anyway, because that was out there. 4th and 22, and it's going to be a punting situation here. High snap. Got to get it off quickly, and he does. It will roll dead right at about the 15-yard line, and that's where, mark it the 16 officially, and that's where U-High will begin here with 1:52 remaining in the first half.
2 timeouts also on the clock. They've got the tempos to be able to move the ball quickly down the field, so it's going to be interesting to see how they clock manage.
Right, well, and there's this to think about too. Ehret is out of timeouts. Do you want to take a chance, maybe make a mistake, an incomplete pass stops the clock, those types of things? You can manage it here and not let Ehret get the ball back. Do you take a risk of trying to do something and maybe give Ehret an opportunity, or do you try and run it out knowing you're getting the ball to start the 3rd quarter?
I think you press it. I'm pressing it. I'm trying to get more points on the board, because 13 points, even though you're getting the ball back at the start of the 3rd quarter, just isn't going to be enough.
They'll keep it with the quarterback, and he will slide down at about the 21-yard line, and a late flag comes in as Williams was in on the tackle, but the quarterback had already given himself up.
Kane Williams.
I think that was Kane Williams came in there a little bit too late.
There's a flag on the play.
The old protect the quarterback, which was what we're seeing is the name of the game today. He slides, it goes in. Kane Williams comes in a little bit too high, either with his shoulder or maybe a little contact with a helmet. It's always a point of emphasis with the Federation, but you're seeing it also. They talk about it every summer with the NCAA rules clinics, and it's big now. Of course, we see it every Sunday in the NFL.
Well, this changes the situation now. Now the ball at the 46-yard line. Umstead showed us a little bit of a way. Obviously, that opening kickoff went into the end zone. And we saw him hit one, showed he had the distance at least from 50 on the opening drive. That ball's batted up in the air and somehow brought in by Kylan Ross off the deflection by Osbury. And that's a gain of 2.
That was part of the play. You didn't know that? I mean, it's tap, tap, catch. They practice that every day. I mean, but they do practice tip drills. Well, look at the concentration right here by the receiver. I think that's Osbury.
Yeah, Osbury had a hand on it, batted it up in the
To
air.
come back and get the ball. Great concentration.
Now they go back to the near side. That is Botcher on the catch, and that will be right near the sticks, and yes, it will be a first down at the 47-yard line.
They're putting the pedal to it. I mean, they're going to sit on those 2 timeouts, use them for as long as they can. They got 1:07, which is a whole world, either to A, to get into that field goal position, or B, to get in a position where they can take a shot at that end zone.
So from the 47, this drive started back at the 16, going back to the near side again, and again it's Botcher, and they're going to wind the clock because he was inbounds and got knocked out. Didn't run out on his own.
Botcher with the reception.
Receiver's got to know, Botcher in this case has got to know the situation. He knows he's got to sprint to that white line.
So on 2nd and 1, once again in this direction, the same play the 3rd time in a row, and this time it's incomplete.
He had great separation right there on the hitch or out route, option route, whatever you want to call it. The ball just didn't get there.
So it's 3rd and 1. Now you've got 2 timeouts left, 40.9. Do you run it and try to get the first down here, and the clock stops on the first down?
Clock stops until it winds when they set the chains. I go ahead and run it right here, try to pick up that one. Here comes the blitz.
They're going to throw it. Now this time they were trying to like pump and go. Botcher got bumped off his route, was actually out of bounds, and
Brandon James, Brandon James does a nice job right there on the double move. He doesn't allow Botcher to get into the second part of that double move on the out and the up or the hitch and the go. Ball's overthrown. You got to credit that to the defensive back, Brandon James, or the athlete. Remember, he's an athlete. He doesn't
all over the place.
He doesn't have a title.
We've seen him at quarterback. We've seen him at receiver. We've seen him at safety, at corner. He's been all over the field here early on. They will give it away. They got pressure in the backfield, but a nice job to get the first down by Derek Graham. Or not. Let's see where the spot is. It looked like he got it past. Now they're going to move the sticks. Yes, 43-yard line.
They're going to move the sticks.
And once they get them set,
they have to get the play in. They call timeout.
Now they'll use the timeout with 29.6. A lot of time.
Timeout. That is their second timeout.
So one timeout remaining for U-High. John Ehret is out.
I would have loved to see him run the ball on first down, pick it up on third down, the first down, and then run the double move on first down.
Right,
that's what I would have liked to see happen.
That was
right
interesting, though. They ran that same play 3 times in a row, and then came back on the 4th time and tried the double move. But Ehret did a nice job of defending it.
Well, I mean, again, the guy defending it is a nice athlete. You know, I got to think, you know, as time goes on, you know, with Brandon James, he's going to get picked up by somebody. You know, he's going to get signed. I don't know where he is on the recruiting list, things of that nature, but he looks like a kid that somebody from Nichols, Southeastern is going to be down here beating all over that door trying to get him on their campus. I like that guy. He can kind of do it all.
Halftime at Tad Gormley, or check that, at Yeoman Stadium tonight. St. Thomas More leading Holy Cross 14-0. That is straight down the seam, and it is a catch. That is Kylan Ross on the catch for a first down at the 29-yard line, a gain of 14.
Kylan Ross runs the slant, does a great job concentrating to catch that football. Ball's thrown a little bit behind him, kind of hung him out for dry, but he does a great job concentrating, getting his hands behind his body and holds onto the ball.
Now they're talking about it here. The Ehret defense is kind of campaigning for an incomplete pass, but it's going to stay that way. And that probably helped U-High a little bit to get things set, almost like a free timeout. Again going down the seam, collision down the middle, and we're going to have a flag. 2 defenders there in the neighborhood of Ross, but
pass attempt to Ross.
Jones and Williams, one of them made contact with him, and this is going to be defensive pass interference.
No question about that. That's pass interference. Remember, it's not an automatic first down anymore.
But it'll be
from the previous spot.
Right, it'll be 15 yards, right? It's not a half the distance to the goal. It's 15, unless, of course, you're in the end zone. Or
from the previous spot.
Right, it'll go to the 2. So
they changed that rule 3 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
So it should be a first down
and now
with the yardage.
And now 10.8 remaining. You could pretty much do whatever you want here.
With a timeout.
Time for 2 plays, perhaps, Wade? I don't know. You could run something quick, I guess. If you, I don't think you can do that.
I think you got to take one into the end zone. All right. You're going to have to take one into the end zone somewhere in the 2 plays.
3 receivers to the top of your screen.
Here's the one in the end zone.
Pump fake, throws over the middle. It is caught down at about the 5-yard line. He's got to give himself up right there. And the ball is down.
Timeout.
And did they give it? Well, let's see. The clock is run out. Are they going to put time on the clock?
They're going to have to.
Let's see if they're going to add time to the clock here.
Receiver has to know where he's at. He's got to go to the ground.
Yeah, that was Botcher on the catch. And
take a look at it on the replay. They're going to take it right down the center of the seam. Great call, great play, great catch by Botcher. He's got to know the situation. He's got to get on the ground. Got to get on the ground now. Once he catches that ball, right there, now, down, ground, right now.
And you see the clock.
He's fighting for extra yardage. He just doesn't know the time.
Timeout.
It could have easily been 4 seconds or so, but they got a timeout. I don't know how much time they're going to add on the clock here. We'll see, but it's likely the last play of the half.
they're gonna put something back on.
Yeah, no good. I don't. Now the question is this: you got a pretty good kicker. Do you take the 3, or
Yes.
do you take a shot at the end zone right here? One play.
I'm taking 3. I got to come with points right here. 16 points going in at halftime is very comfortable.
Well, that's why we sit up here, Wade. They're going to go for the touchdown, it appears.
Well, I spent a lot of time down there. I'm taking the 3. I would have hesitated.
University
But I'd
will
also
go
been chewing
for it.
ass a botcher coming off the
Final
field, making
play
sure
of
he
the
gets on the
first
ground.
half.
You got to continually teach that all the time. And I know those guys are going to do it. They're great coaches over there.
So final play of the half. They did not have any time on the clock. Throws it short of the goal line, and it is dropped. Had a chance, but the defenders were closing on him. I believe that was Slaughter on the. That was the intended receiver there, but in any case, it goes as an incomplete pass, and
13.
U-High comes up empty, and that will end our first half of play. Pretty good performance by the U-High Cubs. Could have had more, perhaps.
Right.
John Ehret had opportunities to get on the board and couldn't. 24 minutes in the books here. It is U-High 13, John Ehret nothing. We will take a break, come back, give you some numbers, give you a little halftime analysis, take a look at scores from all over the area on our halftime show. You are watching high school football from Crescent City Sports. Welcome you back to high school football here on Crescent City Sports from Haas-Memphis Stadium on the West Bank. Lenny Van Gilder here with you, along with Wade Kaiser, Chip and Matt Merritt, bringing you all of the pictures, and hope you're enjoying what you are seeing thus far. Remind you to check out all of our scores at CrescentCitySports.com. Our scoreboard brought to you by the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Let's catch you up on some of the ongoing action. Archbishop Rummel tonight is in Charlotte playing Charlotte Catholic High School. And if you like defense, like I know Wade does, must be a whale of a football game. Fourth quarter in Charlotte, it is Charlotte Catholic 3 and Rummel nothing.
Wow. That's a long ride.
That's a long flight. They made the flight over yesterday. You're right. That's it's quite the battle going on there. Over at Yeoman Stadium tonight, St. Thomas More leads Holy Cross 14-7. That's at halftime. Second quarter score, Hahnville leading Denham Springs 7-0.
That's a battle.
Yeah.
Another defensive battle.
Yep. Third quarter score, Ascension Catholic has been in the Dome a couple of years in a row, leading St. Thomas Aquinas 21-0. Halftime, Battle of Plaquemines Parish, Bell Chase leading South Plaque 6-0.
Oh.
Elsewhere, halftime, game you're familiar with, little pitcher's duel going on down on the Bayou tonight. E.D. White and Vanderbilt Catholic scoreless at the half.
That's a huge rivalry. Two Brother of the Sacred Heart schools battling it out on the Bayou.
And here's another rivalry. Used to be a St. Bernard Parish rivalry, but not anymore. Second quarter, Archbishop Hannon and Chalmette tied at 21. Back and forth they go.
Well, it's good to see
at
that.
Bobby Nuss
Right.
Stadium. Yeah, glad to see them playing.
Right, I'm glad to see that's all put back together there.
Of course, Chalmette, like of course, they were part of the Catholic League for a long time. Chalmette Holy Cross, always a big rivalry. That game is always at Chalmette.
Right.
That game comes up in week 3. How about this game? Second quarter score down in Gonzales tonight. East Ascension leading Zachary 21-17.
Whoa, say that again.
East Ascension 21, Zachary 17. Of course, Zachary defending state champs in 5A,
Yes.
two-time defending
Yes.
state champs in
Yes.
5A. Beat West Monroe a year ago. They beat Hahnville and Pooka Williams 2 years ago.
Also, Zachary extremely high on all the picks this year to repeat.
No doubt, no doubt.
So, wow, that's huge.
Elsewhere, as we kind of look around on these scores, second quarter score, Joe Yenny. East Jefferson leading Country Day 14-13. Of course, that's Country Day's down to 1A this year, and playing up to play a 5A team in East Jeff.
Well, I mean, knowing Joe Chango, he
had
a hard time scheduling.
Yeah, and he's not afraid to take on.
Right.
Country Day will definitely test themselves. Now they've got De La Salle at home next week. Of course, we saw De La Salle last night, and that's a very beat up De La Salle team right now. Elsewhere, looking around the area at some of the games, St. James, West St. John, big rivalry down in the river. St. James leading that one 21-0 in the second quarter.
Battle of 31-27, Highway 31-27.
There you go. How about this one? Second quarter score. Lutcher leading Amy 21-6. And Lutcher has kind of been, I don't want to say down, but they've not been to the level that we saw there for a couple of years when John Trey Kirkland led them to back-to-back state championships. Right. Perhaps tonight is the start of a little bit of a rebound there. Of course, they've still got to close it out, a ways to go in that one. Hey, hats off. Kenner Discovery, third quarter leading Fisher. That is a first-year program. P.J. Sprunk leading that program, just starting up. They've got a 3A enrollment, so they're actually in the district with De La Salle, leading Fisher in their first ever varsity game, 32-0 in the third quarter. There could be quite a party going on in Kenner tonight if that holds up. The first game in the history of that program, at least at a varsity
level.
level.
A whole new school out there on
right there at
Loyola Drive.
Yeah, Loyola and Vintage.
Vintage,
Yep.
that's correct.
Yes. Notre Dame, defending champion of Division III. They lead Church Point 41-6 at halftime. No surprise there. Independence and Albany, quite an entertaining game going on over in that direction this evening, over towards Baton Rouge. 29-24 Albany, second quarter score. St. Charles Catholic made the trip down to Galliano this evening. They lead South Lafourche 17-0 at halftime. Over on the North Shore, Pearl River leading Pope John Paul 13-0. That was a first quarter score. Always a good one. Ruston and Neville get together. How about Ruston going to Monroe? They have 13-7 to break that very good Ruston team this year.
Ruston, great team. That's what we've heard. Have they gotten their stadium back since the tornado last spring?
They're
back in their stadium?
I don't know if that's like still in progress or whatever. They're going to play. I know they're going to play a home game against Airline in 2 weeks at Louisiana Tech.
Right, their whole facility was kind of wiped out there.
La Tech really had some damage, not as much as Ruston did. La Tech lost their baseball stadium, their softball stadium. They're going to have to make arrangements to play this year. I know. La Tech actually played a baseball series at Ruston High School this year.
Right.
So, continued prayers to those folks as they continue to come back from that. And, I mentioned Ruston and Airline. We'll have Thursday night games of the week in conjunction with the LHSAA. Started with last night's game, and we'll have games every Thursday night from around the state. One of those games we're going to have is going to be Airline and Ruston coming up in a couple of weeks. So, give you a chance to see what's going on elsewhere around the state as well. Some of the other scores, Dunham leading Woodlawn of Baton Rouge 19-0 at half. Dunham played U-High to a 7-0 game in the Jamboree last week. Second quarter score, Walker leading Madison Prep 17-16. Of course, Walker is now led by Chad Mahaffey, who's the former U-High head coach. St. Paul's leading McMain 17-0 second quarter. Had a chance to see St. Paul's last week in the Jamboree against Rummel. And Rummel showed me a lot on defense. I mean, that's St. Paul's has traditionally been a pretty good program, and Rummel held St. Paul's to -4 yards in the Jamboree last week. And of course, what you're seeing in terms of what Rummel's doing defensively tonight, that's not a total surprise there. Halftime, Ponchatoula and Live Oak 14-all. Our next game on Cox Sports Television is 2 weeks from tonight. Of course, you can also see it here at CrescentCitySports.com. Ponchatoula hosting Brother Martin, and of course Ponchatoula still has TJ Finley, the LSU commit, at quarterback, and they are clearly an improved team defensively than what we saw a year ago. Hank Tierney told me he's got 8 sophomores who he's got out there on defense right now, and saw them in a scrimmage against East Jefferson a couple of weeks ago, and they looked significantly better, significantly faster on defense.
Well, we'll see. TJ Finley is definitely a mountain of a man. It's going to be interesting to see how his size is going to transition to playing college quarterback.
We talked about varsity programs getting started. Another one is Southside over in the Lafayette area. New school there. They've split things up, added another school. They've got 5A enrollment off the bat. So they're in that 5A league over there. They are leading Northside in their first game tonight, 15-0 in the first quarter. We're going to see Southside, in fact, later on in that Thursday night package against Lafayette High later on in the year. Jesuit on the road week 1 tonight, leading Terrebonne 24-0 second quarter. Hammond at home leading Salmon 10-7 at halftime. East St. John at home tonight leading West Jeff, who occupies this stadium, 21-0 second quarter. Destrehan rolling over Bonneville 38-0 at halftime. Dutchtown made their way across over I-12 into the North Shore to play North Shore, 14-7. The Griffins lead that one at the half. Covington leading Franklinton 19-10 at halftime. Second quarter over at Tad Gormley tonight. Brother Martin leading Byrd 21-0.
All right, that's a big Division I game right
yes,
there.
Yes, it is. Both of those schools in Division I.
C.E. Byrd coming all the way down from Shreveport to take on a Division I rival who they could possibly see again in the playoffs.
Could see them again, certainly. And you got a game.
Right.
You can have another game like that next week when Jesuit goes to St. Paul's. It happens.
Isn't that lovely?
Shaw at home tonight, down the road, leading Higgins 23-14 in the second quarter. That's their first game under the lights at what is now known as Joe Zimmerman Field.
Josie Field. That's what they named the field?
Yes.
Josie.
Yes. Good to see.
What a great coach, great guy, great mentor.
That pretty much wraps up what's going on in the New Orleans area this evening. One big game tomorrow night. Great rivalry. You always see it on the first Saturday of the high school season. McDonough 35, St. Aug. There will be a huge crowd at Gormley for that one. Don't leave your seats at halftime. The best halftime show maybe you see all year on the high school front It's a lot of fun. So
well, it's not only going to be a battle on the field. There'll be a battle in the stands, and it'll be a battle at halftime.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So that's a rundown of all the scores on our All-State Sugar Bowl scoreboard. Of course, at CrescentCitySports.com. We can take a look at some of the numbers at halftime. And it's really been all university high. 113 yards rushing, 108 passing, 221 total. For John Ehret, 85 rushing, just 5 yards passing, 90 yards total. It's we've seen a couple of penalties, but in terms of Week 1 games, I think it's been a pretty clean game so far, Wade, in terms of what we've seen.
Yeah,
and look, Ehret's been in position. They've just got to finish drives. That's the difference in this game right now. U-High couldn't finish at the end of the half, but they got it in a couple of times otherwise.
The jitter penalties, that's what I call them. You had them early in the first quarter. And we haven't seen many of those jitter penalties, jumping off sides, illegal procedures, things of that nature throughout the rest of the first half.
Yeah, U-High had 43 snaps in the first half. That's a big number.
That's a huge
for a
number.
high school game. John Ehret, on the other hand, only snapped it 20 times.
Well, 18 of those 43 came on that first drive.
Exactly. U-High's going to get the football as we get underway here in the third quarter. I say you assume U-High's going to get the ball. Do you think about ambush here or something along those lines? Trying to steal a possession if you're John Ehret, perhaps?
It's been done before. It's going to be interesting to see what type of the adjustments both are going to make coming out here, offensively as well as defensively.
Well, they're going to pooch it. Take it short at the 27. Fumbled, now picked up, trying to get to the opposite edge. That is Ausberry. And he's going to be brought down at the 29-yard line, so that's where things will get underway here in the third quarter.
The kickoff
For the Cubs, as we'll get our first look here in the second half at Tanner Lawson, who threw it 24 times in the first half. He started off with 5 straight completions.
Brown make the tackle.
Finished the first half 13 out of 24 for 108 yards.
The ball on the U-High 29-yard line.
He operates the offense. He stays within the scheme of what they're asking him to do. He doesn't really make a lot of mistakes. He doesn't turn the ball over. So he is taking them in the direction that their offense wants to head. Ball control, handling things, making sure there's no mistakes.
Nice play in the backfield right there. That was getting the penetration. Savion Williams, the senior linebacker, getting in to bring down
Graham carries the ball.
Graham for a loss of about 3 on first down. Graham in the first half had 12 carries for 88 yards. Of course, he got 47 of them on that big touchdown run.
Oh.
And the snap is fallen on.
Oh, it hit him right. It was kind of low and left. Hit him in his left hand, and he falls right on it.
Lawson is able to recover.
Just wasn't a good snap by the center.
So U-High loses 8 yards, or check that, 7 yards. I'm going to spot at the 22-yard line. Third down, 17, ball at the 22. Line to make is the 39-yard line. They've gone backwards, have the Cubs, on the first 2 plays here of the second half. Motion man makes it trips to the bottom of your screen. They'll take a shot down the field. That is incomplete. That was intended for Roman Petrie, the sophomore wide receiver. First time we've called his name this evening. Would have been short of the first down anyway, but he couldn't bring it in.
They run the curl route at about 12 back to 10, just not deep enough because they were way behind the sticks. Ball just wasn't delivered on target.
So the Patriots get a 3-and-out on the first series of the third quarter.
For the Patriots.
Ehret quickly trying to substitute some of their punt rush personnel here. And coming off the edge, they nearly got there. Ehret's going to end up with decent field position here as the return man, Leonard, lets it roll, but it'll still be at the 45-yard line. So the Patriots will take over here with 10.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Gives you a chance to remind you here that Crescent City Sports Prep Football is brought to you by Riverlands Insurance in Luling, meeting all your insurance needs. Call Riverlands at 1-800-336-4579 or go to rivins.com. Our thanks to Nolan Luke and all the folks at Riverlands Insurance for their continued support of high school sports here on Crescent City Sports. So what kind of adjustments do you think offensively Marcus Scott was trying to make here in the first half?
I think one of the things that he has to do is he has to try to figure out how to throw the ball a little bit down the field. I'd like to see him take some shots vertically a little more than he did in the first half.
There you go. You got a pass on first down, and it's tipped and it's caught. Brought in on the deflection by Jerron Glenn, and just like that, the Patriots really got their first break of the night. It was a pass that was deflected, and Glenn brings it in. Good presence of mind, and it's a gain of 27 on the pass from Callaway to Glenn.
Well, they get a break on the tip drill. Glenn on the slant drill right here. They've got him surrounded. Everybody in the white jersey had him surrounded right there, but they just put the ball on the ground. They tip it up in the air, not down. Jerron Glenn does a nice job concentrating on the ball and catching the tip ball. Big break right there. Like you said, one of the first big breaks they've had tonight.
Haven't seen a lot of bounces of the football go the Patriots' way. That's probably the first time it's happened. Great penetration by Roy in the backfield. That just disrupted the entire play as Callaway was looking to keep it and never made it back to the line of scrimmage. Roy won't get the tackle, but he's responsible for it, and you see why he's the #1 ranked player in the state of Louisiana right there, Wade.
Boy, is that impressive.
So quick off the ball.
Just watch 78 right here. Just watch that. He has him in the backfield, and then he runs him down, and he gets a piece of the tackle.
Jaquaylin Roy committed this summer to LSU. At one point was an LSU commit, then decommitted to open things back up, and then came back this summer and said, I'm staying right here on the same campus where I'm attending high school, just moving over a few hundred feet to play my college football. This will be a pass, looked initially like a run, and a nice catch and a first down, again in the direction of Jerron Glenn. So you're right, the Patriots have gone to the passing game a little bit, and Glenn is down at the 11-yard line.
Pass complete to Kane Williams.
He's down.
Is that Williams or Glenn? 5 or 6? Okay,
that's number 5.
Oh, that's not good because Williams, a big two-way player for this John Ehret team.
For an injured player.
Outstanding junior prospect. We mentioned the #5 ranked player in Louisiana in the class of 2021. And he's got offers from just about everybody.
Right, he's cramping. But getting back to what we're talking about, that you're seeing a little bit more mix in what they're doing offensively. So, as I said, one of the things that I'm sure they made some adjustments at halftime is, hey, let's throw the ball down the field a little bit. Let's try to spread this thing vertically in order to open up the running game against that big front of University High. And they've had a little bit of success so far.
Ehret passing the football in the first half, which is 1 of 4 for 5 yards. They've completed their first 2 passes here in the third quarter for 48 yards. Now, a little bit of fortune on that first one.
Right.
The tip drill, and it landed right in the hands of Glenn.
I like to see how they got the quarterback out on the edge. They moved the pocket a little bit. I mean, that's the term everybody uses in the sports broadcasting, moving the pocket, right?
Right.
Well, it's a protection.
Right, and
it's a protection. It's a turn protection or a sprint out protection, and that's exactly what it is, and they're using a little bit more of that also.
So from the 11, the Patriots can get a first down. The thing I like there, Wade, just to finish that thought, Callaway rolled out. You thought that was a type play in the first half where he was going to tuck it and run. That time he pulled up and threw the football down the field.
Correct.
Now get to the edge. They'll move the pocket again. Throws knocked away.
Great play out there.
That was intended for Glenn, and a nice defensive play to keep the Patriots off the scoreboard right there.
Pass attempt to Glenn is incomplete.
You've also noticed in this series right now, about every second or play, or every second play, U-High is rotating their down 3 defensive linemen. They've been playing with 3 defensive linemen since basically the middle of the first quarter to try to take away the speed on the flanks by John Ehret. So I guess they're trying to spell the big guys a little bit, and on that last play, they just rotated back in Williams, Roy, and I believe Bertrand. Hot, humid night.
It is. That's the way to do it.
That turf is still hot, Lenny.
Yeah, it hasn't. The sun's been down for an hour, but I promise you, it's still very warm out there. Play clock down to 5. Now 3, 2. They'll get it away with 1. What do we have? We got movement. I believe it's on the defense. It is.
Offside against University.
Somehow he had to impede the neutral zone in order to get that call.
All you got to do is break it. Remember, you don't have to make contact. Just got to cross over. And
that is a 5-yard penalty. 2nd down and 5.
Get another look at it. Perhaps there was movement.
Right
It was
a little movement by the nose guard.
All it takes. So 2nd and 5, the ball at the 6-yard line.
I think that was
Patriots can make a first down without scoring a touchdown.
Right, that was Nick Williams right there that had the little movement.
Got to hurry. Play clock at 4. Now at 3. They'll get it off with 1. Play fake or check it. That was a give. It looked like I got fooled on the play fake. He gave it away and faked the pass, but the U-High defense was not fooled as he gave it away to Tremont Harris and he lost yardage on the play.
Brock Slayton right there to make the big bang at the line of scrimmage.
Tremont Harris
steps up, does a nice job. Watch Brock Slayton right here at 24. He's going to step up and fill that hole right there for a nice tackle.
Loss of 3. It's 3rd and 8. Ball at the 9-yard line. Got to get to the 1.
We've called Brock Slayton's name a few times tonight. He's pretty good football player. Short tackler. He's always around the ball.
Now the pass thrown incomplete, just out of the reach of his receiver there. I believe that was Jaheim Marco, the senior.
Quarterback tried to get on the edge on the sprint out with the turn protection. And
you got to give U-High credit. One thing they're doing, they are getting on the edge and getting up the field and really trying to take that away.
Right, Roy turned him back, so he sets his feet and he throws the ball out there, and it's a little too wide. Better placed ball, they'd have had 6.
All right, so it's 4th down and 8. Again, this is the 3rd time tonight John Ehret has crossed the 20-yard line. They have no points on the board. Play action, throw back to the near side, incomplete, out of the end zone. It was in the direction, I believe that was number 13, Wyquan Townsend, who's
University takes over
regular. He's a defensive lineman, but was in at wide receiver on that play. Big guy trying to isolate him one-on-one. You see
they've got man coverage out there, and they throw the fade route. The ball's just a little bit too much air under it out there towards the back pylon. Great coverage right there by the corner from U-High. It's all over him.
So U-High is going to take over. It's actually the 8-yard line.
Another lost opportunity right there by John Ehret. How many has that been tonight?
That's now 3 times they've been inside the 20-yard line. Haven't been able to get it in. Throw to the short side on 1st down, and that is caught by Osbury. Osbury had a bunch of catches on the first series. Really haven't seen much go in his direction since then.
Well, they're taking advantage of the cushion down here by the corner. The cushion is playing off of outside leverage with about 7 yards off. So Osbury, what is he doing? He's pushing the corner's technique and breaking it out, and the ball's delivered on the money.
Now the motion to that side. They'll run, sweep in this direction, and room to run. Down the sideline, and finally dragged out of bounds is Derek Graham at the 36-yard line, a gain of 24.
The edge really isn't set too hard by the corner from John Ehret, so what does that do? That gives the running back, Graham, a great opportunity to dig to the middle of the field. Safety's nowhere to be found. Number 21 supposed to be filling that alley. Great run by Graham.
Had the motion going away from that. Come right back to a similar looking play, and that time there are a lot of blue shirts in there, including Patrick Jenkins, to knock Graham into the backfield for a loss of 2.
And Patrick Jenkins there. You had Rashad Harris there.
Patrick Jenkins made the tackle.
Graham over the 100-yard mark for the night. He's got 107 yards on 15 carries.
Tell you what, he's a good-looking running back. Young kid. He's only going to get better as he progresses and he takes coaching.
Give it away to Graham, up the gut, breaks a tackle, room to run, out near midfield, breaks another tackle, still on his feet. 45, 40, and finally dragged out of bounds. Might even get an extra 15 here, he will. Finally made the tackle well onto the white in the bench area there, and that'll get you every time. 15 more will get added on to this play.
Offensive line does a great job right here, opening this thing up for Graham. He hits it going downhill real quick, sets up his block out there on the edge. There's a missed tackle in there somewhere. I think it was number 9, missed that tackle from John Ehret. Who's number 9? I think that's Mr. Wilkins. He misses that tackle. And he sprints on down the sideline and does a great job. This is a good-looking running back with great open field speed.
There is an official timeout on the field for hydration.
We'll get the hydration break while they mark off the 15-yard penalty. They're going to put the ball down right at the 25-yard line. So give him 24 yards, or check that, 26 yards on the carry. And then add on the personal foul, which will put the ball at the 25-yard line when we come back from the hydration break. I got to tell you, Wade, that series down there on the goal line with U-High able to get the stop, I mean, that could have made it a one-score game right there, but them getting the stop seems to have now swung the momentum back in their favor, and they are now really taking it to this John Ehret defense by feeding their horse, Derek Graham.
Well, you're right. And it's all about momentum, and it's all about being in the right place at the right time. And, you know, those guys did a great job down there to force that thing. You know, they come away with no points. And now what you're saying is, you know, they're kind of taking over the running game here and feeding number 6, Graham. But it's a great job by the offensive line allowing this to take place.
Now 133 yards on the ground for Derek Graham. And he's going to get it again.
Nice
check that. That's the backup in there now. And there's a flag down. This is going to come back anyway. That was Cam Dorsey giving Graham a blow right there. A well-deserved one after those 2 big runs and holding against the Cubs.
Tell you what, that was a great cut by Dorsey in the hole.
U-High.
One cut and go. North and south, got his shoulder pads north and south, got into the hole, one cut and go, just the way he's taught. And he really did a nice job hammering that hole as it opened up for him.
So put it down at the 37-yard line. Officially a 12-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 22 at the John Ehret 37-yard line.
Down and 22.
And if you're Marcus Scott's defense right now, you have got to get a stop right here to stay in this football game. Give it away to Graham. Big hole. Up to the 22-yard line, and they got the penalty yardage back and a couple more. It's now 2nd down and 7.
Carries the ball.
Well, on your call sheet, you got a 2nd and 7. You don't have a 1st and 22. What do? You turn around and give it to your horse.
Closing in now on 150 yards on the night. He'll go over that now. Out near the 10, still on his feet. He's going to get brought down just short of the 10-yard line at the 11.
Same play. Again, great blocking over there by Alex Goldberg, Solomon Miles, 51-76. Those guys are just clearing out the way for that inside zone look that's being hammered by Graham.
Graham on this drive, Wade, 5 carries for 74 yards. He's out now, and Dorsey is back in, and we're going to get a timeout called by John Ehret, I believe, yes. With 5:01 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And that's probably a pretty good timeout right here by Marcus Scott, just to give his defense a blow, reset things. He realizes the importance of this situation right here and trying to get a stop, stay in this football game perhaps.
Well, sometimes all it takes is a few words when you call them over. You know, whether it's, you know, you got to bark at them a little bit or you got to pat him a little bit, but any way you look at it, he's given those few words right now, so I think it's a good decision to make that timeout call. But on the other sideline right now, what they're doing, what they're talking about is, okay, let's do this. You know, I'd like to see them right now continue with that running game and keep pounding them. So what they're doing is making sure they're going through what they need to do with the next play as far as knowing their assignments. Let's make sure we don't waste this timeout. Let's get something positive out of it from that standpoint.
Coach got all the way out near the hash marks, imploring his troops making them realize just how big this situation is right here.
I guaranteed something in the huddle was said about you need to step up right now.
Now, the one thing the timeout did allow to happen is Graham is back in the game and running back after getting a blow. They've got Osbury kind of working as a fullback almost there, and Graham is stacked up after a gain of about 1.
Graham carries the ball.
They used Osbury to block backside off of the inside zone. Just another way to make sure you run the inside zone and you don't get the chaser from down the line backside.
Garner,
2nd and 9 at the 10-yard line. And stoppage to allow I believe an injured John Ehret player to get off the field. That was Travis Patterson, the junior DB. Ran off at about the 5-yard line to give him a chance to make it back to his bench. Trips to the top of your screen. Fumbled snap. Picked up and now brought down on the sack. It is that 16 or 15 there on the sack?
That is 16.
Brings him down. That is Jerice Garner, the senior DB.
Garner.
He comes all the way from his safety position on a delayed blitz. You'll see it right here. They brought the blitz from the right side, and then they bring it from the U-High left side right there in a delayed blitz, and stacks up the quarterback right there. Helmet comes off.
3rd down and 16.
That means they've got to have a new quarterback in for one play.
Got a quarterback. Of course, he does the right thing. He gives it away to Derek Graham.
Graham carries the ball.
And that was,
Edward
you don't see number
Wilkins
24
makes
quarterback
the
very
tackle.
often, but that was Brock Slayton, whose name we've called on defense a lot, who's also the backup quarterback.
Well, I like this Slayton guy.
4th
He
down
kind of
and
does it
12.
all, doesn't he? I bet he's over there also giving water out to everybody on the sideline. He kind of plays in a secondary. He'll come in and play a little backup quarterback. We've seen him on offense a couple of times tonight. That's high school football.
All right, so here's a big play in this game, Wade. 4th down, 12, the ball at the 13-yard line, and the Cubs are going to go for it.
4th down.
Trips to the bottom, they'll throw that way, and it is batted up in the air, incomplete. That was Roman Petrie who got a hand on it. There was also Kylan Ross in the area there, could not bring it in.
Brandon James was in that area also. It was 2 or 3 guys in that area tipping it up. Just couldn't come down with the handle on the ball. Tell you what, let me ask you a question, Lenny. Where's the field goal kicker we saw?
I tell you what, I liked his leg, but they apparently not taking a shot to on field goals here. And again, look, what is the difference between 13 and 16? To be honest, it's still a 2-possession game at that point.
True.
I guess if you're in close and you're trying to get the touchdown to make it a 3-score game. So Ehret takes over at its 13-yard line with 3:28 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And you liked what you saw out of the passing game on that first possession of the 3rd quarter. Let's see if they can continue what they were doing.
Keep getting them out of the pocket.
Yeah.
Get them out of the pocket, use the turn protection, get them out on the edge, and throw the football a little bit. Mix it with the run.
Play action on 1st down, and it is incomplete in the direction of Jerron Glenn.
Pass attempt to Jerron Glenn is incomplete.
Great play right there on the
2nd
slant.
down.
It was a little slant route. Jerron Glenn, the ball was delivered, just couldn't get his hands on it. U-High secondary did a nice job breaking that up. U-High traditionally playing a 1-high safety here. They've gone into a little too high every now and then tonight.
So on 2nd and 10, give it away this time. That is Tremont Harris on the carry. He'll get about half of what he needs, and the Patriots will have a big 3rd down coming up.
Carries the ball.
They need to convert this 3rd down. They need to put together something
And
strong.
Marion Mower makes the tackle.
Hold on to the ball. Rest that defense a little bit. That's sitting over there sucking
3rd
air.
down and 5.
That defense was out on the field for 11 plays just a minute ago, and keep in mind we mentioned U-High ran over 40 plays on offense in the first half, so they're closing in on 60 offensive snaps in this game. Nowhere to go. Roy has him down and will drag him down at about the 5-yard line, but there is a flag. You would assume it's holding.
Roy with the
coming
sack.
from the referee.
There's a
It's going to be a
on the
face
play.
mask.
Oh, it is a face mask. Wow.
The question is it going to be personal or is it going to be incidental? Big difference in the penalty.
Oh,
Let's
the
take a look at the
face
replay,
mask.
see what we think.
Against U High.
I think that's going to be incidental.
So wait, that is a spot foul as well and doesn't go back to the original line of scrimmage?
I think it is. Yes, it is a spot foul, and it should have been 5 yards.
From the spot, so they actually lost 6 yards on the play, and now it's third down and 11.
10.
Correct. There we go.
That is
There
caught but short of the first down.
There we go, Lenny. We finally get delivered on the
Callaway
slant route
pass
pretty good. He
complete.
gets separation,
To
and the
White
ball's
Line
put right on the
Townsend.
money.
And that was Townsend on the catch at the 20-yard line.
4th down and 3.
So it's 4th and 3 at the 20-yard line. What do you do? The final score from Charlotte. Rummel defeats Charlotte Catholic 7-3. Congratulations to Nick Monica, his first win as a head coach, and he had to go a long way to get it, and that was a tough battle, obviously.
Had to fly to Charlotte to get a win. Great job by Nick Monaco. I had the fortune of coaching him at one time. Great kid, great family. Worked with his dad.
Not a very good kick there, and it's going to be good field position and a U-high bounce as well, and it's going to be down to the 33-yard line. They'll make it to 34, it appears, so 1:33 remaining here in the third quarter, and U-High is going to have excellent field
The punt
position.
is down at the 33-yard line of the Patriots.
Again, they take over with field position. That's
Where
awesome.
U High has the ball first.
They've got they put one on the board. They can put away or not.
They haven't had much success in the past few drives. They bring back Derek Graham.
So Graham, who had a terrific drive, they couldn't get points out of it. He was outstanding as they flipped the field position. On that run there, we'll get about 7 yards.
Graham
I'm sure they
carries the
caught it
ball.
up here, and they might have caught it down on the boundary. U-High, there's nobody covering the number 3 receiver. They didn't walk a linebacker out on him, and now they do.
Devontae Roussel
All right.
makes the tackle.
That's the reason why that little option route inside has been open all night.
Complete.
Pass incomplete. It'll be third down and 3. The ball at the 26-yard line.
Slayton Williams.
They've been taking the number 3
With the
receiver
coverage.
and running a little option route or a little slant route across the middle right there. The linebacker for John Ehret is not getting underneath that.
There's an
Or he's been
official
blitzing and
timeout
leaving
on the
that whole
field
little seam wide open.
for an injured
We've
Cub.
got an injured Cub. That appears to be Trevor Evans, number 5, down on the far side at the 10-yard line.
Cramps, holding that leg up, that toe back.
175 yards rushing now for Derek Graham. He's got 87 here in the third quarter. He had 88.
He's only going to get better, Lenny. He's got a lot of skill.
So a big third down here coming up for U-High. 3rd and 3, the ball at the 26-yard line. Do you give it to anybody but number 6 right here?
No, absolutely not. And, I like him running the inside zone again. Get great movement and over to the left-hand side out of a different formation. Let's see if they cover the number, walk somebody out on the number 3 receiver.
Third
Nobody's out
down
there. They're
and
moving the
3.
safety over to him now. There he is in man coverage.
3rd and 3. Give it away to Graham, and that is well defended by the Patriots. Leading the penetration, Kane Williams, the junior.
Kane Williams comes off the edge, no place to go. Kind of surprising that call. I would have seen him running right at him rather than trying to run around him there.
Rashad Harris.
See a look at it right here. Watch
Andrew
Kane Williams come off
Jones.
the edge. Bang,
Take a
right there.
stop.
Hello. And our
Loss
host,
of
the
7.
blue jersey
4th down
Patriots
and
coming to
10.
clean them up.
4th and 10 at the 33. Line to make the 23. Down the middle, open and caught for a touchdown. Josh Slaughter.
Josh Slaughter runs right down the middle of the seam. Looked like a 4 vertical route. They took the number 2 receiver around him on the inside vertical, and the ball's delivered out there
First and goal
for the apparent touchdown.
Well, check it. Hang on here. They may be putting that. They may have overruled the touchdown call from the side, and they're going to put this ball down at the 1-yard line. Let's see.
Let's see if we can get it
or
on the
not.
replay.
Let's see. They're just moving the spot. Okay, it's inside the 1-yard line.
It's inside the 1. Let's take a look at the replay. He looks like he is down there. Whatever. Great catch.
That was my initial thought.
Right.
But I saw the hands go up.
Correct.
Of course, there's.
But what a catch, huh? Lenny, that was a great catch. Ball laid out there on the vertical route. Does a nice job keeping his concentration. We have a John Ehret player down on the field back at the 41-yard line.
That's Cavante Roussel, one of the defensive linemen, the sophomore.
Again, it looks like cramps are holding the toe up and the leg stiff.
They put the ball back at the 1-yard line.
Good job by the officiating crew coming in, talking about it, getting the spot right without having to go put their heads under a tent, which they're going to do this year at the playoffs anyway.
In the finals.
In the finals in the Dome, all right? You know, I'm more of a traditionalist. I don't want to see that. I honestly don't, because I think you train officials to do a good job. But anyway, they come in, they talk about it, and they readjust the play, and they put the ball on the spot. We get a chance to look at it up here on our camera, and they made the right call.
Is the other.
And one of the other things that they can do with some of that technology now is it's very easy. You want to see like a foot in or out or whatever.
Right.
They can. Everything is very digital, and it's good pictures. You can zoom in on that spot and really identify that.
Well, and I get it. I understand in the state finals you got to get the call right. I understand that.
Nope, we got a flag. Let's see.
Flag
Somebody
on the
line
play.
up offside. I think they might have.
And I'll say one more thing on it, Lenny. I grew up in the 60s.
Nope, it's false start. This is huge. Just moves the ball
False
back
start.
now to
Right.
the 6-yard line.
Right, this is a huge penalty. But getting back to
First and
the
goal
video
from the
camera
6.
thing, again, I grew up in the 60s and the 70s, and we both know, officials officiated, and you live by their rule, good or bad.
U-High does not have to snap the ball here, but they will. And they give it to their horse, Derek Graham, for a 6-yard touchdown with
scores the touchdown for the
14.1
Cubs.
seconds left here in the third quarter.
He runs through the arms of 2 John Ehret defenders who hit him right at about the 2-yard line. With this young man's strength, this sophomore, Derek Graham, he runs right through the arm tackles. Can't arm tackle this cat. You're going to have to put your pads on him.
5 plays, 33 yards, took a minute 19 off the clock, and they'll operate the swinging gate here.
They now cover the number 1 receiver out there. They didn't on the last touchdown.
Now they'll move back into place to kick the extra point. Olmstead. Good hold and snap this time, and the kick is good. So with 14.1 seconds remaining here in the third quarter, your new score, University Lab 20 and John Ehret nothing.
John Ehret 0.
We got a whole quarter left to play, but actually time is running out for Ehret. The
No
possessions
doubt.
are running
You
out.
gotta have 3 scores now.
Right.
And look, it's a challenge against a really good defense.
Correct.
And this is.
You've got to make every possession count now. You can't have any mistakes on any possessions.
And I think you got to really pop some big plays, and you got to do some things perhaps in the special teams here. Maybe pop a return. The defense come up with a play to give you a short field. That's we've not seen any turnover. We saw 1 turnover in this game. I'm sorry, the opening possession, John Ehret with the fumble. But since then, we've not seen a turnover. We've seen some, footballs taking football bounces out there, doing some funny things, couple of tip drills and stuff, but we've not seen any other turnovers, and that's something that Marcus Scott's defense may have to do if they're going to get back in this football game.
That is correct. Every offensive possession now needs to come away with points on the board. So is it a clock issue they're discussing here, or
Not sure.
are they trying to figure out where they're going to eat after the ball game? I know where I'd go. College Inn.
College Inn is open late.
It's always a
We're
good
we're on the
call.
West Bank here. You know, Moe's
The
Pizza,
flag on
always
the
a
play is
popular choice here.
unsportsmanlike conduct against University.
We have unsportsmanlike conduct against University. Didn't see what might have caused
That
that.
will be penalized on the kickoff.
So that's going to back them up to kick off now from the 25-yard line. So when you talk about breaks, maybe this is the kind of break that now you've got a chance to get really good field position out of this.
This could be a blessing for John Ehret. Popping the kickoff. We didn't get a call on who the unsportsmanlike was on. Was it on a player during the PAT? Was it dead ball? Was it on the bench?
So they will have to kick off from the 25-yard line.
John Ehret has a lot of speed back deep. They're going to want to get the hands in the ball of their best guys, and they've got some of their speed guys back there.
For the Patriots.
Here's your kick. Comes down at about the 29-yard line, out to the 40, 45, out past the 45 and the 46. So good field position here for the Patriots, as that was Keon Edwards on the return.
Well, there we go. They're starting at their own 46-yard line. Great field
Keelan
position.
Edwards returns the ball for the Patriots.
It's
7.1 seconds, so probably
After the
time for one
46-yard
play
line.
here in the
First
third
and
quarter.
10, Ehret.
Little problem getting personnel.
Now they'll reset. Play clock. Now down to 10. So plenty of time. Trips to the top of your screen. Slant is caught up close to the first down. That was
Callaway's
Brandon
pass
James on the
complete to
catch,
James.
right to the 45-yard line. So it'll be
Slaughter
just short
makes
on
the
the
tackle.
final play of the third quarter.
A gain of 9.
So 12 minutes remain.
Second down and
John
1.
Ehret in a big drive situation here. They
final
have got to
play of the third
capitalize
quarter.
here on this field position when we come back. As we head to the fourth, your score, University Lab 20, John Ehret nothing. You are watching high school football from Crescent City Sports. Start of the fourth quarter now from Hoss Memphis Stadium in beautiful downtown Harvey. And that is right at the first down marker. Tremont Harris looks like they're going to give him the first down.
Carries the ball.
I like that. Beautiful downtown Harvey.
Colbert makes the
That's
tackle.
awesome. Not that Harvey is not a beautiful
First
downtown place.
down. Patriots.
So first and 10 now for the Patriots. The ball at the 44-yard line.
Every snap now crucial for the Patriots. Can't have offsides, can't have any type of botched play where the ball's out on the ground.
in the air, caught, and looks like about 5 on the play as Leonard out of the backfield makes the catch.
Leonard's got a nice set of skills. He's got nice hands, runs the ball well. He'll catch the ball out of the backfield as we just witnessed right there.
Senior, he's certainly got to have a chance to play on Saturdays at some level. When you can run the ball like he can. Hadn't done a lot tonight, but a lot of that has just been dictated by game situation too, as that pass is incomplete. It's 3rd and 5.
Jeremiah Vessel does a great job coming out of his break to be able to drive the ball and make a hit right there on the hitch route. That's the way you drive the hitch route right there. So now you keep getting them driving that hard. Look for the double move by a Patriot wide receiver.
If they only put it in the air 4 times in the first half, we've seen 10 pass attempts from John Ehret here in the second half. This is number 11. Well, maybe not. Brought down for the sack. That is Jaden Osbury, the freshman.
Is that a relation?
I guess it's got to be the younger brother of Austin, right?
Well, they blitzed Jaden Osbury from his linebacker spot right there, and he's all over Theodore Callaway. Can't get the ball off. Hands up in his face.
So now it's a punting situation on 4th and 12. Can't give U-High any kind of field position here. You got to take a chance to punt, hopefully pin him back, maybe play defense, maybe catch a break on special teams, or maybe make a stop.
Right. There's a wasted series right there.
No, absolutely.
I just said it as we were leaving the 3rd quarter, how each series now becomes one that you can't give up. Got to come away with points when you're down by 3 scores.
And 5 yards coming up here against the Patriots.
You can't have this type of stuff either.
Is called against the
Trading off that field position.
So now it's 4th and 17. The ball back on the Ehret side of the 50-yard line. So now, as it turns out, they netted 3 yards out of this possession. Started at the 46, now the ball's at the 49. High snap over the shoulder by the punter. He's going to run and rugby style it, more of a line drive. Turns out to be a pretty good kick, actually. Give the punter credit for a nice athletic play right there to actually turn disaster into a pretty decent play and get the ball at the 17-yard line.
Jones down the punt.
Absolutely. Athletic play. Take a look at on the replay. Bad snap. He does a great job turning around, running and get it. Basket catch. And then rugby in it out.
Got a friendly roll.
Right.
34 yards on that punt.
Ehret's thinking turnover. U-High's thinking ball control, running the clock out, getting the guys in the blue to use their timeouts. They've got the perfect guy in their backfield to control the ball. That would be Derek Graham. So look for Graham getting a lot of touches right here.
Graham on 1st down just plows over a defender. It gets out to around the 24-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Crescent City Sports Prep Football is brought to you by Gills Bar for more than half a century, offering services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. And they're headquartered on the North Shore. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com. Our thanks to Hank Miltenberger and his support of high school sports here on CrescentCitySports.com.
Ehret's selling out right there, bringing all their linebackers on a run blitz. Sabian Williams hits him in the backfield, hits Graham in the backfield, and just doesn't come up with the tackle. I mean, those are big plays. If you're going to sell out, you got to make something happen. They sell out again.
3rd and long 3. They get the hit, but he gets it away, and a 1st down and room to run. Out to the 40-yard line, and a nice play right there to make a man miss on the tackle. That was Jason Barnes, the sophomore wide receiver running back.
Jerome Robinson.
Lenny, credit that to Tanner Lawson for staying in there in the face of the rush and getting rid of that football. Tell you what, he did a nice job right there getting hit and delivering it on the money.
That is
Graham.
8 more yards on the ground for Graham.
What's he up to
Check
tonight?
that, check that. They put the ball back at the 30. It's 9 yards for Graham. Play started at the 39-yard line. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what the spot is. So that's
Right. So what does that bring
16.
Graham
Let's
tonight?
get him at 187 yards now on 26 carries. Big night for Derek Graham, the sophomore.
I'm predicting a 200-yard night right here.
I think you keep feeding your horse. Got an illegal substitution against John Ehret. That's going to be a first
Illegal
down.
substitution against Ehret. First and 10. U-High, the ball on the 47-yard line.
Winding the clock after the penalty, the minute they set the ball. They'll readjust the 25-second clock. Then, it's not a 40-second clock on the administrative move. Clock winds. U-High burning as much clock as they possibly can.
They won't even get into formation now until 5 on the clock. 4, 3. Get it away at 2. Bobbled the snap, and a nice play by Lawson to fall on it back at the 45-yard line. A loss of 8.
That's a couple times tonight for Lawson on that. Ball hits him either low or right or left, and he bobbles the ball, and he has to fall on it.
A loss of 7, second down and 17.
So check it. It'll be 2nd and 17 at the 46, but still a long way to go. U-High's done what they need to do there. They've gotten it out of their own end. Got this thing on the move. Pass is complete. Still going is Botcher, and will get out to about the 44-yard line, a gain of 10.
Well, Botcher does a nice job catching the ball. Then he continues to fight. But I tell you what, the guys in blue right there they got to wrap up. They got to tackle.
Yeah.
Poor tackle job by those guys in the secondary right there from John Ehret. They got to make that tackle.
And that's got to be a tired team. And
right.
Patrick Jenkins just blew through everybody and got Derek Graham in the backfield for a loss of 2.
With the stop.
Well, that's Patrick Jenkins saying, I'm tired of this. I got to make a play.
4th down and 9.
So it's 4th and 9, the ball at the 46-yard line, and here comes the U-High punting team with 6:35 remain. They will not be able to run it all the way down to the hydration break before the punt here.
Are they going to take it all the way down as low as they possibly
Sure.
can? I would have thought John Ehret right there on that running play would have stopped the clock timeout.
Ehret with 2 timeouts left.
Should have wasted one right there, Lenny.
And they did let it run out, actually. The snap went through before after the delay of game penalty.
Well, coaching note right there, punter, catch the ball, no matter what. Don't just let it roll on the ground behind you. You never know when there's a mistake made by an official. 5 yards isn't going to really hurt from this standpoint as far as the punt is concerned. So
they wind the clock again, so now it's run it down again to the hydration break. Ball rolls, looking in that direction, and they actually let the punt go. Got away. Snap is right at the 6-minute mark, and the punt will go out of bounds at the 27-yard line, and now we should get the hydration break with 5:48 remaining here.
Line of the Patriots, where Ehret has the ball, 1st and 10.
Let's take the break with them. 5:47 now officially to play. Ehret needs to get something going. You want to get some points on the board here. 20-0 U-High. You're watching high school sports, high school football from Crescent City Sports. Will come back out here with the ball at the 27-yard line. 3 scores down. When you're in this situation, Wade, obviously you don't want to necessarily give up on the game, but I mean, I would think at this point you're trying to find a way to get points on the board and give your offense a little confidence heading into next week.
Well, you've got to. It's everything's a teaching situation with these kids.
And on first down, big play out to about the 48-yard line, a gain of 21.
So the teachable moment right here, Lenny, is you fight your tail off until you get 0-0 on the clock. That's the reason why I would have called the timeout back at on fourth down and try to preserve as much of that clock as I possibly can. You're teaching your kids, hey, I'm right here with you. I am in the pits with you. We are fighting every step of the way. Teachable moments.
Pass this way. Gets about 3. That is Brandon James on the catch. We've called his names in a lot of different positions this evening.
He's going to be tired tonight.
Should sleep well.
He should sleep well. What an athlete. Boy, I would love to see him at a university down the bayou or up the road off of I-12 somewhere local where we can watch him play on Saturday afternoons.
Certainly, this John Ehret team traditionally produces significant signees just about every year. And you look at the talent, this could be, no exception this year.
Exactly.
Good scramble that time by Callaway to get 4, make something out of nothing right there, and it's 3rd down and 3.
And those guys locally,
gains 4
especially
yards.
those
Culver
FCS teams.
takes the tackle.
All right,
They want to stay local, and I
They
like
wanna stay local.
what Tim Rebo and Frank Selfo are doing.
No doubt.
And Tim got a little bit of a head start on Frank at Nichols. Been there 3 more years. First down, didn't give it back. Managed to keep the first down yardage there, as that was
Callaway's pass complete to
Kane Williams making the catch.
Well, when you see the BCS
Davies
teams like
makes the tackle.
Southeastern and Nichols in
First
here having
down.
success with
Patriots.
local kids within 100 miles of where their school's located, that speaks huge to the talent that we've got right here in the New Orleans area, Baton Rouge area, and then the coaching that these kids get.
Right. Now under 4 minutes here. Another pass. This is a live ball, I believe. Yeah.
Yes.
Did they blow it dead?
They blew
Now
it
they're
dead.
blowing it dead, incomplete.
Holy
I think that was
smokes.
one of those things that they were waiting.
Right.
And they're going to call it an incomplete pass. That could have very easily been ruled a lateral right there.
That was right at our eye level.
That was very, very close to being down the
If
line.
we take a
another
look at it
it.
on our camera,
That's close.
That's close. That's close.
Now a keep, and now a throw, and caught down at a 5, and in for the touchdown is Jerron Glenn. I thought the quarterback Callaway was going to put it down and run it. He pulled up just before the line of scrimmage and got it going downfield.
Jerron Glenn does a great job fighting off 2 U-High defenders to fight to get into the end zone. Quarterback sprints out. You're right, Lenny. I thought he was going to keep the ball, but what does he do? At the last second, delivers the ball on a strike to Jerron Glenn, and he gets into the end zone. I think we can expect onside kick coming right here.
No. Extra point comes first, and that's Michael Gross. Oh, it's a bad snap. Now the quarterback is the holder, Callaway, tried to make something out of it, but was quickly swarmed under, and that will...
The extra point attempt is no
I think
good.
now we can effectively get an onside kick here and see what happens.
U-High 20, John Ehret 6.
So with 3:34 remaining, that drive 6 plays, 73 yards, took just 2:13 off the clock. Yeah, you'll likely get that onside kick coming here. 39 yards on the touchdown from Callaway to Glenn.
Glenn did an excellent job fighting off those 2 defenders, kept his knees pumping, had the ball tucked away to get into the end zone. He wanted that pay dirt right there. Only problem is it could be not enough with not much time left on the clock. We'll see what happens here on this impending onside kick. U-High over there, I'm sure they got their hands team or their all-state team or their good hands team, whatever you want to call it out there. Making sure that they got 11. They got 11 of the right people out there on that all-state team. Look for U-High possibly calling a timeout just to see what's going to be the alignment of the onside kick team of John Ehret. Rules say you got to have 5 on each side of the ball.
That's different from college and pro, right? You can line as many as 6 up on one side.
Correct.
High school, it's got to be 5 and 5.
Yeah, the days are gone where you can overload one side or the other in high school football. So you can see the hands team out there, a formation of 5-5-1. All the guys in the white jerseys are their skilled players, tight ends, wide receivers.
Except for Mr. Roy over here, and that will roll out of bounds.
Who says Mr. Roy doesn't have good hands?
No. But we're not exactly, but we're talking about skill guys and Kylan Roy.
I call him a skill guy. The way I saw him run tonight.
He is skilled. There's no doubt about that. He is very skilled.
Right. Ball doesn't go 10 yards right there, so it's a moot situation for Mr. Roy recovering an onside kick.
And that's a well-coached situation right there. And then you wait till a ball goes 10, you stay right there, and you don't go try to get it because, of course, if there's a fumble, another look at the touchdown coming up here.
He's going to roll out to his right here. He's going to keep his eyes downfield. Nice job keeping your eyes downfield, and he's going to hit on the strike right there to Jerron Glenn. But look at the effort, Jerron Glenn, as he drags a guy into the end zone with him.
And just continuing to ground and pound.
Graham carries
is Graham. We have called that name quite a bit tonight, Derek Graham, and he has been outstanding.
Andrew Jones, Travis Patterson make the tackle.
That's a gain of 14 yards.
Second down and 1.
And I now have Graham with 199 yards on 28 carries.
Wow. He's going to sleep well tonight.
Yes, he will. Give it to him again. Make sure he gets over the 200-yard mark.
Absolutely.
Well, he's in there. You're going to keep feeding him in this situation.
Well, he's the guy you got to put the ball in the hands of.
Gets it again. Breaks a tackle. 25, 20, still on his feet. 15, down to the 10-yard line, and that is way over the 200-yard mark now for Graham. 25 yards, give him 224 yards on the night.
It doesn't look like John Ehret's going to use their 2 timeouts anytime soon, so I think it's pretty much elementary.
Makes the tackle.
Clock's winding. Run it down. Can probably kneel it out.
Perhaps they can't kneel it out completely. There's not enough time to do that with 2:38 to play. Yeah, I think you'd be looking at that situation, but now I think you're looking at continuing to feed number 6, whose next carry will be number 30 on the day. There it is. Stacked up, still falls forward and gets maybe a yard and a half.
Carries up the middle.
So when last we saw U-High, it was the Mike Hollins show. Mike Hollins is now at the University of Virginia. And they've got a pretty good one that's coming behind him here in Derek Graham, who we've seen tonight just put on a pretty good display against a traditionally very strong John Ehret defense. And he has gained 225 yards on 30 carries.
A lot of credit to that offensive line of the University High Cubs. Those guys all night did a nice job getting some movement up front. And not only getting movement on the run, but also protecting losses in the passing game.
Graham from the middle, all the pressure U-High got on him tonight, and anywhere in the passing game was
when they had to bring 6 people.
So it's 3rd and goal, ball at the 8-yard line as the clock is ticked under 90 seconds. U-High, after Carr's loss last night to John Curtis, came in tonight with the longest winning streak in Louisiana, 26 games. They went 13-0 each of the last 2 years. That is about to get 27. And a timeout for U-High with 54.2 seconds left. If you thought there might be a drop-off,
that is their first timeout
after losing 19 starters a year ago,
Well,
It's
about,
if it is, it's not much based on what
Right.
we've seen this evening.
Right. Well, I said it earlier. It's about maintaining the program. Coach changes, but the expectations and the program doesn't change. You might change a philosophy here. You might change a formation there. But those guys at U High, whether it's the coaching staff, new guys on the coaching staff, those players standing on the sideline over there, they know what's expected week in, week out, and they prepare that way to carry on the progression of the program. It's the process. It's the process that they believe in. That's the reason why that's where their program's at. I mean, say what you want. You hear Saban say that all the time.
No doubt.
Take me out. Just unplug me, take me away. It's still the process of what we're going to do here at Alabama.
And I think both of these teams will be better for playing this kind of game week one. Just like we saw
right,
with Curtis
right,
and Carr,
right.
Warren Easton, De La Salle, all of these other big-time matchups that we've seen here in week one. Both of these teams are going to be better, and both will continue to better themselves. That's a bad snap that is fumbled, and John Ehret is going to fall on it back at the 30-yard line.
That's the third one tonight. I mean,
Andrew
the other two
Jones
were recovered by Tanner Lawson. That one wasn't.
Recovers the fumble, returns it to the
You don't want to finish up the evening on a great evening on a little sloppy play like that.
10.
So Ehret will take over with 48.5 seconds left in this one. Just looked like a low snap.
Right.
We've seen a couple of those tonight.
Right, we've seen it. But Lawson had recovered him right there. He doesn't recover it.
Well, if you're Andy Martin, you need some teaching moments to come out of a win. That's one of them you got to work on. Certainly, is those shotgun snaps.
Correct. Well, they'll teach that, but they're going to also they'll chew a little tail on that, I'm sure.
So 48 seconds remaining. Ehret, after having driven 73 yards for a touchdown on their last possession, that's not going anywhere. There's a meeting in the backfield between three U-High Cubs, and leading the way was that 78 or 79 back there. That is 79. That is Nick Williams.
Right.
Big-time play right there.
They were all back there. Micah Davey was back there also, number 40. Probably looking at our last snap of the evening right here.
Down to 12 seconds. Unless it's an incomplete pass. Instead, they will give it away on the jet sweep. And turning it upfield and down at about the 30-yard line is Damon Leonard on the jet sweep there, and that should about do it. And it does. There's the horn.
That is the final play of the game.
So your final score here this evening, University Lab 20 and John Ehret 6. Wade, final thoughts on what we've seen here in week one from these two teams and what you think?
Well, we see the progress of the program of U-High continue on where they left off from last year, getting a lot of their young guys a huge amount of playing time, especially the running back that had over 200 yards tonight.
Great performance by Derek Graham, no doubt
Derek
about
Graham.
It. Finishes with 226 yards on 31 carries.
And then, John Ehret has a way to go. They're young. They graduated a lot of guys last year. They've got things they've got to clean up on before they head next week into their second game of the season, I believe, against Helen Cox, right? And then Carver after that. But by the time they're in district, they'll have all guns firing. Marcus Scott will have all those things cleaned up. So two good football teams tonight. Big futures down the road for them. It's going to be interesting to see how they take those things tonight that they made mistakes on both sides, clean them up, and progress forward.
Yeah, I think we will see both of these teams playing deep into the playoffs this year. Wade, it's been a pleasure to work with you again this evening. 2 games in 2 nights, and I'm sure you're probably ready for a third one in 3 nights tomorrow, maybe just on your TV set. That's all.
There you go, and it's going to be in Texas.
There you go. Our thanks to Wade Kaiser, our thanks to Chip and Matt Merritt for helping bring it to you, and our thanks to you for watching tonight. Again, your final score, University Lab 20, John Ehret 6. For everybody, I'm Lenny Van Gilder saying thanks for joining us, and so long. We will see you next week with more high school football here from Crescent City Sports.